Hello baby gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Ormer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Genshin Impact, and we have 2 more story quests to do before we leave Fontaine. And these story quests to me are some of the most really interesting ones, I feel like. And mostly just because with Sigewinne, it's similar to Clorinde in a way where we got to know them a little bit, but this will hopefully flesh them out even more. And Emily? No idea. No idea anything about them. I know that they have I know about their outfits and that's it. So it's going to be really interesting to see where both of these go. Let's start off by getting the warmth of lies. That's always a nice way to start off any quest, right? Beauty expert. Where are we going from? Oh, from here. Okay. Let's go. It's always interesting to find out where exactly we're starting from. Oh, the team we're using today is this team, which is very similar to Eula's team, but it's called Fremmy's World, and it's basically Fremmine, Fischl, Xingqiu, Benny. Again, these 3, Xingqiu, Benny, Fischl, they have been staples of my parties since the beginning, and it's just because they're just very good. They're consistently just really, really good. My Fischl is so good. My Xingqiu is just naturally good now because of the constellations, and Benny's always been very good as well with the constellations also too. Fremmine is just starting off. We haven't used Fremmine yet, but he's been leveled for a bit, and I think it's time to definitely use him. It's similar to Eula's team for sure, but we call it Fremmy's World just because Fremmine likes being in his own world sometimes, and so does Fischl in some ways too. And if you could argue that both Xingqiu also wants to be in his own world with books. Benny also wants to be in his own world when it comes to adventuring. And honestly, I feel like the 3 of them are protecting Fremmy's world. That's the way we're looking at it. They're protecting that world. They know what it's like to want to be in your own world in any way. Yeah, I always thought Fremmine's character was a really cool design. It always reminded me weirdly of a Xenoblade character, and that's a compliment for me, who is a big fan of Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we played on the channel. If anyone ever wants to check that out, it's always there. I think we've done so many playthroughs now that sometimes people will be like, hey, have you played, you should play this game, and I'm like, I played it. I think if you look in the created playlist section, you'll see all the playlists. There's quite a lot. Is Sigewinne down? Wait, whoa, look at this pile of people. A lot of people here. I don't want to drop down because then I'll just die, but okay. Very interesting.
This shop looks popular today. Wonder what the occasion is.
Yeah.
Butterfly Dew Cosmetics now on sale. Huh, looks like it. Oh, Sigewinne's here too.
There she is. There she is.
Hey there, Sigewinne.
How's it going? It's been a while.
Hello there, Traveler and Paimon. I hope you're keeping yourselves fit and healthy.
Well, you can tell, right? How are we feeling?
You bet we are.
You can definitely tell.
So anyway, what are you doing here, Sigewinne?
Paimon does the flexing motion.
The Duke insists I take regular vacations in the court of Fontaine.
Yeah. That's very, very, honestly, that's good of him. Because there are some employees who will not take a break. You know what I mean? And you have to, sometimes force them to.
This one just so happened to coincide with a promotion for a new skincare product, so I came over to take a look. I like to keep up with the latest industry developments when I can, to help me with my magazine articles.
Okay.
Wait, you write? For a magazine? Which one?
mean, that's pretty cool to me. And Sigewinne would have a great insight, I feel as well. With, her line of work as well and all the people she meets.
It's called Beautés en Fleur, and it's run by the Fontaine Beauty Association. I've done lots of articles about skincare for them, using the pen name Maritime Flower.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So it's all about skincare, and it's all, yeah. And like I said, again, the reason it's everyone's different, and of course she's in the medical profession as well, which also means that if she's working with skincare, she knows what would be actually approved and what would actually work, I suppose. That's not just a fad or something like that. Yeah, I think, her experience with meeting all different types of people, all different types of skin types, mixed with being an actual doctor, and then also being interested in stuff, I think she would be great.
Oh, wow! You're a Maritime Flower?
Wait, Paimon knows them?
If I'm not mistaken, you're one of the leading figures in the Fontaine Beauty Association.
Okay. And Paimon reads these magazines, okay.
What's so weird about that? Everyone loves beauty.
Yeah, but you can be into whatever you want. If you want to use some of our funds to buy some products, we can do that too. No problem.
Really like
you can be whatever you want.
The staff at cosmetics shops are always so polite. And as long as I wear a big smile on my face, I always get the best customer service.
Adorable. Absolutely adorable.
Well, they sure don't want to make an enemy of the maritime flower.
Yeah, I wonder if that is a little bit of a thing that they don't want to get a bad review or something. How'd you become leader of a beauty association? What got you interested in beauty products, Sigewinne?
Obviously, it's because of Sigewinne's love for beauty. Still a leader of the beauty association? That's incredible.
I love how interested in Paimon is in this.
The truth is,
so cool.
I study this field because I cherish my own appearance. It has nothing to do with being beautiful or not.
Okay.
Oh, the words of a master beautician defy comprehension. Oh, wait, you're saying that natural beauty is the highest form of beauty, right?
Paimon is like starstruck.
Not really. Actually, melusine aesthetics are very different from human ones. We don't view humans based on their appearance. If I had to describe our approach, I'd say it's based on cuteness.
Cuteness? Okay, this is adorable. This is absolutely adorable.
Really?
Absolutely adorable.
Yep. Still, I really value my current appearance, and in the process of taking care of it, I've ended up learning quite a lot about skincare and stuff.
This is actually such like a nice turn like for a story, right? I didn't expect this is how it would start off with.
It turns out, my knowledge and experience is pretty popular with beauty product lovers.
And that's awesome.
It came as a big surprise to me, though. Oh, Paimon gets it now. But speaking of your appearance, how come you look human anyway? Are you like only half melusine?
But he's like, hey,
Ooh, wait,
another
sorry,
question.
Sorry. That was probably really offensive.
That's
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Paimon speaks for his things. Yeah, for me, like I would again, like I said, I didn't ask that question just because I'm just like, oh, there's so many different types of species and different spiritual creatures and then different people and different species of people and all this stuff that I was just like, okay, like that's a melusine now, you know? Because again, I'm not sure, but I don't think Paimon definitely, you know, sometimes speaks before she thinks, but I don't think she ever means like anything
No,
bad.
I don't mind. I'm not mixed, though. I made a decision to turn myself into this form a very long time ago.
Okay, so she changed from a melusine form into like a more like half human, half melusine form.
If you're
Interesting.
interested, I could tell you the story. A shape-shifting story? Oh, heck yeah, of course we're interested.
Jesus, Paimon. I love how like interested Paimon is in this. Like, I also do love like the kind of like relationship that Paimon and Aether have, to where Aether can look at like at Paimon and be like, hey, like just do a little look, just be like, hey, let's not ask that question, you know? And it's a very simple thing. It's correcting somebody. It, you know, it doesn't have to turn into a big, you know, thing or whatever. It's just literally just like, hey, you know, maybe we won't ask those questions, you know? And I think that's good. I think that's good that they have the strong enough relationship where he can actually like correct Paimon, where they don't get angry at each other over something that, and then Paimon instantly goes, oh yeah, that's not the best question to ask. It's so simple, but it shows that they have this trust in each other and also that they are both like good, you know?
Once upon a time,
So here we go.
long ago,
We're starting off with the story?
humans rejected melusines, and melusines feared humans.
Yes.
There was one melusine who became fascinated with human medicine.
Is this you?
But no human wanted her help.
Look at her.
And there was one girl who liked melusines.
Look at this art style as well.
So
It's
no
gorgeous.
humans would make friends with her. So the melusine became the girl's
Oh my god,
friend.
this is so
And
sweet.
the girl became the melusine's patient.
It's like they're playing doctor, but she actually is like really good at this stuff.
Your checkup's all done. You're still in perfect
That is
health.
adorable. Stop.
Thank you, Dr. Melusine.
That is so sweet. That is so sweet.
In this game of doctor and patient, a friendship was born. Then, one day, the girl fell ill. The melusine was the only doctor to arrive on time,
Oh my god,
but
it's
the
so...
adults sent her away.
What?
Scram! Melusines can't be trusted.
Oh my god, that's that distrust they had in melusines as well, and just slammed the door in her face.
So just because I'm not human, I can't save my best friend.
That's
In
horrible.
desperation, the melusine approached the frightening witch.
What?
She begged and begged until she got a reply.
If you take this potion, concocted of sin,
Yeah?
You will gain a human face
Oh my
and grow human
god.
limbs. But then, you will lose everything that attracted
What
this
the
friend of yours to you in the first place.
Like, the art style is so amazing
Can
and
you
it's so
accept that?
beautiful, but like, this is
The
so
melusine
harrowing
did
and
not
like
hesitate for very long.
hurtful. Like, look at it, like, look how gorgeous this is, but it's telling such like it's hitting me in the
On a
heart.
rainy night, a little doctor knocked on the girl's door.
Oh my god.
The doctor wore a hood and raincoat, maybe to protect her from the rain, but maybe also to hide a secret.
And the little girl's not gonna even recognize her at this point
The
as
little
well.
doctor held the girl's hand and treated her illness, just as she had so many times before.
Stop.
Dawn came, and the little girl's condition improved.
Oh
But
my.
the little doctor was long gone,
This is stunning.
for she knew her friend would never recognize her
That
again.
is so horrible. What the heck? It's the start of the story quest. That's so horrible.
Since then, I've lived my life in human form. Most people who know me just think I was born this way.
So her human form is from a witch's concoction that turned her into a human. And once again, we see an example of the hatred that people had towards the melusines, right? This was a common thing we saw as well, like even before as well, like how horrible this can truly get, like how devastatingly horrible this can get. And in this case, look what this is a perfect example of what the melusines are like, and what they are as you know, who they are themselves. Turning yourself into a human just to save one person that you care about so much. But they were turned away at the door because they were a melusine. It's so upsetting. This is the start of the story quest. We get this beautiful artwork, absolutely stunning artwork, but this really, really sad story. And I just need to know how she feels about this now. Like obviously now she's widely accepted and people adore her and all this stuff, but that has to play in your mind for the rest of your life. There's no way I wouldn't think about that every day for the rest of my life. There's no way. And I'm not even going through it. It's Sigewinne who went through it.
A witch? A potion? Why does this sound like a fairy tale?
It's very, like, when they do those stories, they are very fairy tale-esque, but I think fairy tales are a very common thing in this game, very much so.
Trust me, it's a true story.
I believe you. We know we were at witches' table at one point. We know witches.
Must be the way you told it then. It just sounds so...
You're an incredibly kind person, Sigewinne. like absolutely amazing. Like, this is the first. We're in like the first part of the story quest, and already we're.
Not every melusine would take human form to save their human friend. That must have been a huge decision.
Massive.
Treating patients is a doctor's duty. We must always find a way, even when the going gets tough. Ugh. It's so crazy that they turned you away just because you were a melusine. Especially when their daughter was so sick.
That's my thing. That is my thing, right? Whatever. Like, here's the thing. We know that there was distrust with the melusines, right? If my daughter was so sick that like she was in dire need of help, where there was no other doctors, I'm trying everything. I am trying everything.
Well, sometimes appearance can be a real barrier. But that was a long time ago. I like how I look now anyway.
And I'm glad. I'm glad there's like a you know, it's sad that she had to change in the first place at all. But like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how does she feel now about how she looks? And like, as if she's happy, that I'm happier for that. But it's just such a sad way to start off a story quest for me.
You're super cute this way.
And I bet you were cute as well as a melusine.
Attention customers! Thank you all for waiting.
Well, she's
Now,
still a
on
melusine, I
behalf
should say.
of our
Sorry about that, yeah.
skincare partner, I'm delighted to announce that our exciting new product is now officially on sale.
Very cool. Such a cool way to start. Like, this is like so interesting. Like, this little crowd gathering here and like the like an unveiling of a product. Like, it's so interesting how every story quest is so different from the last one.
Well, there we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, Paimon, if you want to buy any skincare products,
Oh my
I'll
god.
be happy to give you some suggestions.
That sounds amazing, Paimon.
Really? Personal advice right from a leader of the Fontaine Beauty Association?
You'd love that,
What an
Paimon.
honor.
You'd love that. That'd be so fun.
Allow me to introduce our newest skin lotion, Butterfly Dew. I'm sure many of you have already read about this product's trials in the newspapers. To say that it improves skin quality is an understatement. This product gets its name from the way it transforms your skin and makes it glow anew, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis and spreading its wings for the first time.
Beautiful marketing, right? Beautiful.
We are thrilled to have the inventor of this fantastic product with us here today. Please welcome Mr. Rawat, a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute.
Oh god.
Now, without further ado, I'll hand over to Mr. Rawat to tell you all about what Butterfly Dew can do for you.
Can I just say, like, the words Fontaine Research and Institute on their own, great, right? Like, those words are good words. Whenever I'm in Fontaine and I hear the word research, I like literally get a chill because I'm like, what's about to happen? If I hear institute, I get an even bigger chill.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rawat, and I developed Butterfly Dew.
People are cheering for him though, so they obviously like him a lot.
Wow, what a looker.
Okay.
He's a researcher? Wow, he's really challenging the stereotype.
What do you mean?
It seems that everyone is surprised by my entrance. Or should I say, my appearance. I'm well aware that researchers are generally better known for their brains than their dashing good
Jesus,
looks.
okay, everyone catching
In that
strays.
regard, I do believe I break the mold somewhat.
That's like a researcher walking by. Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm not known for looks? I try really hard.
Of course, appearance is a skin-deep way of defining a person. And yet one's appearance can be a very real set of shackles, holding a person back in their life.
Wow, this is coming up now as well. And the idea that it is a, about makeup and appearances, when we start off with a story about, like, the idea of how appearances almost, like, caused, poor Sigewinne not being able to, like, help her freaking best friend.
It can rob a young person of their self-confidence when applying for a job, dissuade a young lady from approaching the one she loves. Our actions are at the mercy of our appearance, and we slowly become the very person that the outside world sees us as.
Okay.
But what if I told you that those shackles can be broken? If our appearance prevents us from changing, then let us first change our appearance itself.
I don't usually buy makeup products. I'm not sure if, like, this is, like, the overall marketing that happens in our time as well.
Wash away moles, birthmarks, and wrinkles, and they can no longer rob us of our confidence. Replace them with luster and radiance, and we shall never again hang our heads in shame.
But, like, I don't know. I think those, like, make people... Again, it's up to anyone else. If anyone wants to do that, they can. But, like, to me, like, I'm always just like, man, that makes someone, like, interesting and special. But, like, I'm never going to be one of those people that's like, oh, makeup's so dumb. Like, you're, like, you're hiding your true self. Like, because for me, it's like, makeup in itself is an art form. Like, and I'll stand by that. Like, if you ever see, like, there's this, like, and it's not just, it's just any type of makeup is an art form to me. Like, it doesn't matter if it's just, like, concealer, or if it's foundation, or if it's like a full, like, makeup done or whatever. I think it really is like an art form, and I'll stand by that. And I also think that, like, then if you go to, like, even the step further, there's this, like, drag queen I know called Aurora Matrix, who like it's like you are painting, like, with the gods with this stuff with your makeup. Like, it looks fantastic. So, like, I'm never one of those people that's like, oh yeah, like you're hiding, like, oh you're just trying to hide behind a mask or something. Like, I really just feel like it's up to the person what they want to do.
That is why Butterfly Dew exists. Its mission is to allow us to shed our pupae, undergo a complete metamorphosis, and embrace a new life.
Well, whether it actually works or not, after that speech, Paimon's already sold.
Oh, Paimon.
Mr. Rawat, could I ask if you've used this product yourself?
He's like, yeah, I have, and none of the other researchers have. Ugh.
Of course, I tried it many times while I was testing it. You can consider me a product ambassador.
Wow, then it's sure to work.
I love it. Look at Wonder's face. He's kind of like, Paimon's so excited, He's really happy for her as well.
I don't expect to convince you just by blowing my own trumpet. So, could I get a volunteer from the audience to try it out?
Oh, Paimon. If you don't choose Paimon, I will actually, like, I will break apart the shop.
Oh!
Okay, I'll accept it. As long as she wants to do it, I'll accept it for sure.
An honor! It appears we have a giant of the Fontaine Beauty Association here with us. In that case, Miss Sigewinne, could we seek your most expert opinion on this product?
Imagine she gives it a bad review.
Sure.
Whoa. Is that Romaritime flower? They say she's the pickiest user of skincare products in all of Fontaine.
So everyone knows her then. Everyone
Here
knows
you
her.
go.
Well, it's very kind to the skin, and the absorption rate is high.
Oh my god, look at her tapping her
Even for
face, little
Fontaine,
taps.
This is a first-rate product. Wow, now that's high praise.
There we go.
I'll take one. Any discounts?
That's a 1-2 punch right there. You know what I mean? Someone who like comes out who's looking like handsome like that, and then like then after that you get like the biggest reviewer of makeup products in the entire Fontaine, like
All
to come out and
right.
review it.
Well, all that
1-2
remains
punch.
for me to say is, Butterfly Dew is now on sale.
Such an interesting way to start a quest here. I don't think have we even gotten the first thing that tells us the quest has started yet.
Too?
Think you should buy a bottle too? I think both these answers are like, I don't know, are you paying for it yourself? I would pay for it. Now you're cute enough already. I'm from here, like we're going with the less mean one, which you're cute enough already is true. She's adorable. But like, I'd never say are you paying for herself because I would buy it for her if she wanted to. But like, I also feel like this is like me saying like, you know, you can't get something you want.
Aw, really?
Okay, she likes it. Okay, that's
Well,
good.
it's
That's
still
good.
good to
Yeah, that's
care
definitely
for
the
your
less
skin,
one, you
though,
know.
right? Paimon definitely feels kind of rough from being exposed to the elements all the time.
True. Like it's not like skincare is very important. True. Especially when you're out in the elements all the time.
And if you're worried about whether it's the right product for you, well, luckily for us, Sigewinne's here, so we can get an expert consultation.
I think it's so like realistic for Paimon to be like that, right? To be like I'm literally camping outside a lot of days. We're out in the elements constantly. We're in the rain. We're in the sun. We're in the desert. We're in the woods. We're in cityscapes where like the wind is blowing right in our face. To be like, yeah, like we should try some skincare stuff. Like it's so realistic. It's so true. Skincare is not a bad thing. There it is. After like 30 minutes. The Warmth of Lies, though, is an interesting name for a quest. But yeah, like, that's, like, I think that's so, like, I don't know, well written. To have Paimon as a character be like, we're not going to see Navia right now. To have Paimon as a character just be like, yeah, like, it makes sense. And, like, it's totally true. It's, like, skincare, like, especially as you get older, oh my god. Me pretending I'm an old man now. Especially as I get older. It's actually not a bad idea.
It's an honor to receive such high praise from you. To be honest, I was also hoping you might be able to point out some flaws in the product so I can keep improving it.
Very mature. Very mature.
With most skincare products, the pros and cons only become apparent with long-term use.
That's so fair.
Oh yeah, this one has instant benefits. Improving skin quality without any obvious side effects. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, but what's the lie gonna be?
Don't worry though, I plan to keep using it. And I'll publish regular reviews in Beautés en Fleur. You can read my thoughts there. All you need to do is subscribe.
Yep, you gotta subscribe.
Oh, I was hoping for a more casual conversation, but you are a beauty association leader after all. I understand if you want to keep this professional.
Yeah, it's so fair.
Sigewinne?
So fair.
Oh, excuse us, Miss Beauty Expert. But do you think this product is a good choice
Aw.
for me and him?
I know, this is so sweet to me. Like, one of us getting skincare products and we're just there looking at Wander smiling. This is so sweet. Excuse me, can you have a skincare product for my boy?
Wait,
So
are you
sweet.
the renowned traveler?
That's right.
I love his
by
smile.
His side, the equally famous Paimon.
Did you hear the way she said that?
That's right. And by his side, the equally famous Paimon.
Well, I don't normally handle customer questions personally, but since it's the traveler asking, allow me to make an exception.
I love that. Our fame has benefits.
Butterfly Dew is made for all skin types, so no matter who you are, you can rest assured that it will be kind to your skin. If anything, it might be marginally more effective on Fontainian's skin, but other than that, it works the same on everyone.
Interesting to have something that works on every type
Why
of skin.
would it work better on Fontainians?
In the interests of protecting
No,
my
no.
trade secrets, I'm
No.
afraid I can't answer that,
No.
Miss Paimon.
No, answer right now. You're from the research institute. Fontainians have had other type of products that affect them only.
Alright then. How about a friend discount?
There you go. Give her a friend discount.
Save yourself the trouble. I'd be greatly honored to have both of you use my product. Here, take 2 bottles for free.
Thank you.
Yay! Paimon's private fund survives!
I would have paid for it. What's the catch? Is this a publicity stunt?
I can see why you might think that, but please don't misunderstand. This gift is simply a token of my esteem. There's no business motivation behind it.
Okay.
To me, finding new customers for Butterfly Dew is about meeting kindred spirits, fellow admirers of physical beauty. I consider it a labor of love.
Admirers of physical beauty? Eesh, that's embarrassing to say out loud. It sounds so shallow.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Paimon. Most people claim to desire inner virtue, but it's still physical appearance that turns their heads.
I think it's an interesting point. I think a lot of us, like, you know, would say, like, hey, like, that's what you know, like, when you go around the place, not always, like, when it comes to your partner, because sometimes, like, I feel like relationships can blossom through, like, you know, constant, conversation or getting to know someone better, and then you're like, wow, I actually do like this person a lot. But what he's saying is, like, it's impossible to be attracted to someone's inner virtue before knowing them, and usually, like, when we're walking down the street, we see someone pretty, and we're like, oh my god.
This is a fact of life. It's only natural for people to desire to become beautiful. And that's exactly what inspired me to choose this research direction in the first place.
You're right. Everyone loves beauty, don't they?
Look at the time. My apologies, but I have other things to attend to. I'll leave you with these 2 bottles of Butterfly Dew, and I look forward to seeing you again.
I swear to God, Rawat, if this is something crazy, I am, anytime anyone tries to do any research ever again, they will be destroyed. It will be the end of them.
Paimon, I'd say there's no need for you and the Traveler to use this product for now.
Yeah?
Why? Is there a problem with it?
Does Sigewinne notice
The
something?
quality is fine. I just think there's room for improvement. I think I could add some ingredients to the mix to make it more effective.
Okay.
Really? Then why didn't you tell Rawat about that? Researchers are a very special breed of human.
Yeah?
You can point out their flaws to their face and they won't mind very much. But if you tell them that someone else could do a better job, ooh, now that'll make them really upset.
Sounds like that's a them problem, Sigewinne.
If I'd mentioned it, he probably wouldn't have given you those 2 bottles for free.
Okay, so Sigewinne literally was like, okay, I need my friends to get these bottles.
Fair enough, that makes sense. If you're interested in the more effective version, I can write up a list of ingredients for you. Just come get me once you've gathered them.
Sure.
When you say more effective, you mean it'll make Paimon even prettier? Ooh, how can we say no?
Well, if you really want this, a prettier Paimon, yeah, if you really want this,
As for me,
we'll do it.
It's
up to you.
probably time I got back to the Fortress of Maripede. I mustn't leave the infirmary unattended for too long. Alright, see you there then!
Paimon's voice actor are acting their heart out. Yeah, I'm very much like, of that feeling where it's like, Paimon's, it's like, we can sit here and say the truth, which is like, we love Paimon for who she is, and Paimon's always going to be adorable, and her skin complexion is absolutely amazing. But if she wants to do something, then we'll support her, for sure.
Just up ahead, Traveler. The ingredients
You know what
for
I mean?
Sigewinne should be nearby.
If Paimon came to me tomorrow and said, hey, I want to buy a race car bed where we can carry it around every day, I'm paying for it. If Paimon comes to you tomorrow and says that,
Reveal thyself.
okay, let's try and use, I haven't actually, like, used them at all, really, so it's just, I'm wondering how, like, much damage he's gonna do. Should we, like, maybe, like,
Witness the
zing
power of
show
Rawat.
and then, like, go for it? You know what I mean? Like, we have so many options when it comes to, like, this build, I suppose. And we have this as well.
Commencing cleanup. There. Frost is coming. Prepare. Getting gear. Prepare.
Yeah, now I think, if I remember correctly, now I will look at the talent as well, but if I remember correctly, let me try to remember here with Fremine. With Fremine, it's, when this hits, it activates this, and then this activates this, and then when you press it again, it activates a different move depending on what you do. So say if I do this, let's try again. So say if I do this, it does that. If I do this here, then hit once,
Frost is
That's what. Okay, so let's try this again. So I think it does a different thing depending. So if you do all the way up, it will do something different as well. I think it like switches between ice and physical.
getting here.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
Pair.
yeah, it switches between ice and physical. It's very, very cool. The same weapon that is on Fremine is the weapon that we have for Eula as well. So they all have they kind of all have a similar build as well. But as always, it doesn't matter if they like do similar things, because the reason why we have Fremine on the team, the same reason we have Eula on the team, is because we adore them and we love them. We love them very much so. So let's, I guess, just try and get to it's one of these guys. So these leveling up Fremine was very, very interesting because getting these characters like items was something I just didn't have because we didn't fight a lot of them. Where are you? I just didn't have a lot of these guys items.
Great! That's everything! Let's head to the Fortress of Mirapede!
For some reason, they'd still do this thing where like you walk by some people that have a quest and the quest activates. Like, I don't know, man. I just like, I'm not like a I thought if I backed out of the game, like it would work, but it definitely didn't work. Is it up on the higher? It's up on the higher levels then. It's up even higher? These waypoints are so confusing to me sometimes. Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, like, I'm never a big fan of that when the game, like, will auto-activate world quests when you're walking by them. I understand that they feel like you might miss some of them, but, like, I think, like, it has the same effect. Because, like, the thing is, some of them, like some of them will have quests where, like, you literally just have to walk and go up and talk to someone. It would have the same effect. It really would have the same effect. And again, I understand there's some quests where, like, I don't want you to miss these quests, but, like, a quest with, like, in the Fortress of Mirapede where there's, like, two people out in the open chatting to each other with a question mark over their head, I'd be able to tell what I'm doing. Oh, it's Rio!
Whoa, the infirmary
Very
is
cool.
packed.
Please, you have to believe me. I saw it with my own eyes last night. Another me.
What?
He looked exactly like me.
Oh, no. What do you mean? Oh, and in Genshin, when there's smoke, there's, like, a little bit of fire at the very least. What do you mean?
Got it? Okay. I've written down everything you told me. Now, I have a few tests to run. Take a deep breath, and don't worry. It's nothing to be nervous about. First, which finger am I holding up?
This is making me so... He saw someone who looked like him.
Your index finger, but I'm telling you, my mental state is fine. I'm not crazy.
With all the crazy stuff that happens, not only in Fontaine, but the whole Tivat, I'm willing to just, like, right away believe him and say, let's go. Let's go and sort this out. I'm willing to just be like, let's go and sort this out right now. Whatever's happening.
Very good. Now, on to the next. Hey there, Your Grace.
It's so cool.
been a while,
So
huh?
cool seeing Rio.
Ah, it's you two. Indeed it has. I would offer you some tea, but I'm afraid the timing is unfortunate. Duty calls.
No worries. Don't worry about it whatsoever.
No worries. Actually, we were looking
Me and
for
Paimon again.
Sigewinne.
Always having the same
Do
thoughts.
you, know what all of this is about?
This inmate came running to the guards in a panic, claiming to have seen his exact doppelganger.
Oh, Rio, I beg of us to just, like, right away just be like, let's find this doppelganger, because I'm already scared.
A doppelganger? Doesn't that just mean someone else kinda looks like him?
And that's what I thought when the report first reached my desk. But we've inspected our records. No one even vaguely resembles him. Considering how certain he is of what he saw, I can only surmise that he's having some mental issues. So I brought him for a medical evaluation.
And here's the thing, I want to say it's very fair for the first thing you would think of is to be like, let's check him out to see if he's okay, if he hit his head or something. That's 100% okay, and also it's actually responsible, because if he did hit his head or something and he's having like a whole thing in his head where he's seen someone else and his head is hurt, getting him checked out is 100% responsible. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this stuff scares me already because I know there's something creepy going on then. And I'm just like, we need to, like, help this man right away.
Alright, very good. take a sip of water and rest for a bit.
So sweet. So sweet.
Evaluation complete. I couldn't find any symptoms pointing to a physical condition.
So there's no head hitting or no injury.
I see. So do you still believe there's more likely to be an issue with his mind than his body?
I have to assume so for now. Psychological issues are more difficult to detect. At this stage, we can at least confirm that he is in command of his cognitive faculties.
The rumor mill will go crazy if word of this gets out. Guards, take him to the ward for a period of observation. The Marechaussee Phantom has requested my cooperation on a case, otherwise I'd deal with this myself.
Oh, wow.
Sorry for the trouble, head nurse, but I'll have to leave this to you.
So, like, there is some official aspects to it already.
No problem, Your Grace. I'll add him to my observation list.
By the way, we have a couple of guests here who have made the trip just to see you. I imagine it must be important. You probably won't need to add them to your observations.
He's so charming, isn't he? He's so charming.
Oh, Traveler! Paimon, it's you!
Yeah. You're so hard at work, like you didn't even notice us.
Hey there, Sigewinne! It's actually not that important, but...
I'll be in my office if you desperately need me.
Always.
Goodbye for now.
Always desperately need you, in fairness.
Okay, bye-bye!
Don't think there's a minute we don't, Rio.
So, Sigewinne... Would you mind waiting for just a moment? I have another patient to see. Just find an empty bed and take a seat. I won't be long.
Totally fair.
Oh,
100% fair.
Sigewinne, we've brought him. And he seems to have taken a turn for the worse again.
Okay, don't panic. Let's start by sitting him down here. Paimon had no idea how busy it can get for Sigewinne. Maybe now's not the time to ask for her help with skincare.
In the meantime, we could offer to help Sigewinne.
Good point. Besides, it might actually be interesting to observe her at work.
Yeah, to learn more about her.
Well, this could hurt, so I suggest you take a deep breath first. Did his face melt? What happened
Whoa,
to
whoa, whoa,
him?
whoa, 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 wait, what?
It's anyone's guess. His face melted off shortly after arriving at the fortress. But since he's a serious offender, he can't be allowed out for medical treatment.
What?
Best we can do for now is ask the head nurse to give him something to manage the symptoms. Oh, this is gonna be awkward. We still need to bring him to the Marechaussee Phantom for questioning. What if he scares them half to death? Will that be our fault?
That is, like, horrible.
Marechaussee Phantom? Does this have something to do with the case Risley's
So it's all the same case.
Yep, it was a huge case. They bagged a few dozen crooks in one fell swoop. And this guy's the baddest apple of the bunch. He harmed countless people. And now, it looks like it's all finally catching up with him.
But a melted face is insane.
Done gawking?
Not yet. I need to check the severity of your ulcers to decide the right dosage.
Oh my god, ulcers all over his faces. Oh my god.
Don't worry. We melusines have a very different sense of aesthetics from humans. To me, he just looked like a little
Oh
kitty
my
with slightly
god.
scruffy fur, but still just as cute.
She is the biggest sweetheart in the world.
Don't patronize me. Do I look like a kid to you? Just give me the meds and let me out of here. I already missed
Yeah,
myself.
but Sigewinne actually means this. She's not even trying to be patronizing. Like, that's 100% how she feels.
Hey, lose the attitude. You dare talk back to our head nurse like that again? Your days are numbered.
And look how much she respects Sigewinne. So much.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to apply the medication now. Tell me if it hurts,
So
all right?
sweet.
Look how nice Sigewinne's being. And he still talks to her like that? What a nasty piece of work.
Can I leave now?
Wow, not a peep. What a brave little guy.
I don't care how old. I understand, like, people do probably see it as patronizing. Like, you know? Like, if Sigewinne said to me, like, when I was getting my face treated for pains and was like, what a brave little guy, I'd be like, I am. Thanks, Sigewinne.
Thank you, Sigewinne. And I apologize for the trouble.
So, Traveler, Paimon, did you bring the ingredients?
There's something brewing here, right? Can you guys feel it? There's, like, something brewing here. There's something underlying that feels like, I don't know. Well, it's a story quest. There is something, like, probably darker going on. But it feels weird.
We did, but we don't want to interfere or anything. You're busy saving lives here.
Yeah, you're doing great work.
Oh, don't be silly. I agreed to it, didn't I? just hand me the ingredients, and I'll make some time to whip it into the improved version for you. Take a rest here if you want. Or, if you're not tired, I hear they're holding a new pancreation tournament in the administration area. Or alternatively, is there anything we could help you with, Sigewinne?
Yeah, take it as a token of our gratitude, please. Please.
That's right! Let us help you out! It's the least we could do! Good point. Kind-hearted humans start to develop guilt if they accept free help from others.
She's so smart.
Don't worry. I'll take a look at my schedule. I'm sure I can find something to treat this condition. I gotta warn you, though. It'll be tiring work. So I suggest you take a break first, then come back and see me when you're ready.
We're ready to work. We worked here very hard, like we did. Yeah, that's such like an interesting, already like such an interesting conversation we had there with this guy with the burns all over the melting face, and then also the guy who like saw his doppelganger as well. Like it's and obviously if the Marechaussee Phantom is involved as well, there's like something more serious going on here too. I do wonder like what exactly is brewing with this. That's not the last we've seen of that, right? Or I mean, it could be just like they could be using it as an example of just what work Sigewinne does down here. You never know. But like there's something like there has to be something, especially when it says the lies, right? Because there's already two things where it's like I don't know, it's very, and also like, it's so interesting as well how like they have like a doppelganger to do with someone else's appearance, stealing someone else's appearance, someone's face being melted, again, your appearance. There's a lot of both things were about someone's appearance. And this whole thing has been about like, you know, makeup and like, you know, being pretty and being beautiful. I wonder where this is gonna like, what this is gonna turn into, I suppose, is probably the best way to put it.
We're ready, Sigewinne. What's our first mission?
Let us do anything.
I found the perfect job for the traveler. First, I'd like you to lie down in this bed.
Sure. Let's go.
What for?
The way Wander lies down in the bed is so funny to me for some reason. He's like, because he probably sleeps outside all the time, he gets to a bed instantly and he's like, okay, I am limp. This is the greatest day of my life.
I need you to pretend to be sick.
We did that before, remember?
Oh, is it that difficult?
Yep.
I thought you did a pretty good job last time.
She remembers.
Oh, so you knew.
Oh, come on.
I sure did. He was way more interesting than the usual malingering inmates, and you played along very well, Paimon. I observed you two for quite a while after that.
Yeah, because they can tell when someone's feeling bad, right?
Well, this is awkward. But why do you need us to do it again now? No time to explain. My next patient will be here any second. Please just do as I say. You can, pretend like you've got a nasty headache, and throw in some dry heaving for good measure. Okay.
This is fun. Look, we're already playing along. The eyes are closed. We're like, we understand the assignment.
Hey, Doc. It's me. I'm only here because my mom won't stop pestering me about it.
What?
Well, your mother has enough on her plate with a
Wait.
busy job. Well, the last thing she needs is to worry about you being sick as well.
I mean, we had other kids in here, like Lenore in here as well, right? Like, so there was kids in here, but there's another kid in here?
I know. I shouldn't treat the place like a playground. Shouldn't go swimming in the lower levels where we join up with the sea, because it'll give me a cold and distract her from her work.
So it sounds like you've been told this before. Yeah, but like it's almost so like it feels unnatural to have like a kid in here, even though we saw a caterpillar in here and Lenore.
I thought I'd be able to have some fun here at the fortress for a few days, but it's always, don't do this, and don't do that.
Oh, you're only here for a few days, maybe?
All right. Sit yourself down and I'll take your temperature. Well, your fever still hasn't gone down. Well, here's your medicine. 1 cup for starters, and we'll see if it helps.
And so she's still treating him.
But Doc, it's so bitter. Do I really have to drink it? I mean, I'll be fine, right? I've got an uncle who caught a cold. His fever went away on its own after a couple days. Can't you just write me a note saying I'm on the mend? I just need something to keep my mom off my case.
This is so interesting to me that I don't know, this kid in the Fortress of Meropide, he's here like maybe on like a short trip. And now he's coming to Sigewinne possibly every day to get treated.
I sure can. You're a very brave boy after all.
Huh? Brave? What makes you say
The
that?
kid's gonna eat this up. He's gonna eat this up.
If you want to rely on your own immune system to clear up your fever, then you'll have to tough it out like this
Oh
guy.
my god. She's showing like how bad of a state we're in. Coughing and retching. That's so smart.
Hang in there, traveler. Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag.
Yeah, you don't want to turn out like this, buddy.
As long as you're tough enough
So
to get
smart.
through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll be right as rain after
No,
just a few days.
that's so
rest.
smart. I love that.
And if I'm not tough enough?
Ah!
Hey, wake up! Wake up!
Did you see his face? It like vibrated. His whole entire face, his cheeks, his lips, they all vibrated.
Put it this way.
This is so
At
good.
least you'll never have to see the doctor again, right?
I think maybe I'll take that medicine after
Yeah.
all, if that's okay.
This is very smart and a very innocent way of like, you know, kind of convincing a kid like, hey, you're still strong, but this is what will happen if you don't take the medicine.
Oh, of course.
You know?
Here, it's still warm.
Especially since it's definitely for his own good.
It's so bitter.
And he running, was he clacking? Oh, buddy, don't come back in.
All done. Great job, you two.
Yeah, but he's sobbing. Can we at least like give him like a lollipop afterwards or something?
That kid really doesn't know what's good for him.
Yeah, but like I don't want him going off sobbing. Like that's not what we want, right?
His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately, but unfortunately his father's away on a business trip right now. She had no choice but to bring her son here for the time being.
Right, and that makes much more sense than what I was thinking, that there's just kids around here in the fortress all the time, because obviously it would make the caterpillar story like, you know, maybe less special
He was quite happy at
if
first.
he was living here.
He seemed to
all
think
his life?
that the Fortress of Meropide would be all fun and games.
It's definitely not that.
So you made us put on that act just to scare a kid into taking his medicine? That's a pretty sneaky trick. Seems like there's a whole side to Sigewinne we never knew about. It's a technique I learned from my teacher.
Oh, for real?
Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a melusine doctor
But I feel like that's like very normal thing though, right? Because have you guys ever been to the doctor when like you have to like take like an injection or something like that, and they will do like these like little tricks or something like that, whether they like I know, like again, I haven't been to a doctor as a child since I was a child, would you believe? But like when you were a child, I remember there was like specific moments where like you're talking to the doctor or something like that, and they would like they talk to you obviously in a different way, right? They treat you in a different way because they have to. Because again, a lot of children just don't want to get like a lot of those medical things done to them, because even like it's not even like what's scary. For me, like I don't think even it's like fear sometimes with kids. I think it's a lot of like just annoyances. It's like, oh, do I have to take this medicine? Do I have to stop my playtime to go to the doctors? It's all these like little tiny annoyances that like, you know, it's not about the actual fear aspect sometimes.
She was human. She passed away a long time ago. Oh, sorry.
Paimon, I think like that it's Paimon can be like the most relatable sometimes too, where like you say something like and you know you kind of put your foot in your mouth by accident.
Oh, it's fine.
You know.
I really liked my teacher, so it's always nice when I get to talk about her with other people. She was a traveling doctor, and since she didn't have a clinic, she'd go out and visit her patients wherever they were. Dealing with the badly behaved ones was her specialty.
All right, so that's where you learned this from, yeah.
She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you won't have to hear them wailing and screeching when their condition gets worse.
Look at the facial expression as well. And you know what, like that kind of says, even though like she's calling them little brats, it's like it kind of makes sense where it's like, hey, like if you treat them now and trick them into taking their medicine now, then you won't have. Then it benefits them. They won't be in pain. They won't be suffering.
She sounds like a pretty strict teacher. Oh, strict? Well, that's not how my teacher saw it. She thought of herself as terrifying to kids. Strange way for a doctor to describe themselves. Now Paimon's curious to know what she looked like. As it happens, I actually have a picture of her.
Oh, for real? Interesting. Okay. It's just a regular lady.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that'll terrify the kids.
Me, that's a regular lady pieman. Oh my god.
Yep. All the children she treated thought she was a witch. Why does it almost sound like you're envious of her? Oh, because I am. If she was here, all the children would take their medicine without any need for tricks.
That's like really interesting. She looks up to her quite a bit.
A doctor who looks like a witch. True, they wouldn't dare try anything funny with her around.
Is that the witch? Could it be the witch that gave her the concoction? Maybe? That to turn her into like a more half-human melusine, I suppose?
Oh, me, on the other hand, it's hopeless. Children aren't afraid of me at all. That's actually a good thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I think so too. I think her being so sweet is an advantage of her as well.
My next patient should be arriving now. Would you mind lending me a hand again?
We're gonna do the same thing?
Sure thing! On to the next mission.
I love how we're taking this so seriously though as well, which is good. Because this is her job. It is her job.
Is it nighttime already? That flew by. You really have a busy job, Sigewinne.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why she's so respected.
Well, thanks to you two, it was much easier today. Aww.
Glad we can help, for sure.
Should we get some rest? It's getting pretty late. Oh, there is one last thing. I have to keep it confidential, so we usually leave it till after everyone's clocked out. Confidential? Are you sure you can tell us? Oh, it's fine. You're not living here anymore, so it's okay if you know. All it is I have to prepare some ingredients to make healthy meals with. Wait, you mean those healthy meals?
The one that appeared, the very weird one.
My patients refuse to eat any healthy meals I prepare in front of them, so I have to prep the ingredients in secret, then let the chef at the Coupon cafeteria handle the rest.
And I love it that that's what the mystery was back then. Like, we thought it was going to be some type of... I honestly thought it was going to be some type of food that makes you disappear or something.
Considering even the chef's version makes people uneasy, it really makes you wonder what's in it. You want to find out?
You want
Teach you how to make it. That way, if you ever suffer from exhaustion on your future travels, you can prepare a healthy meal for yourself. It's really good for you, you know.
Honestly, this line which says you want to find out sounds like she was like, hey, you want to find out? Does that sound like a threat?
You want to find out?
That sounds like a threat.
Sure? Guess we can help out one more time. The ingredients are ready. Now, put them on the table and add them in the order I tell you. First, we add this special slime condensate, stir it thoroughly, then pour it in. Oh, see that? It adds elasticity. It looks just like tasty jelly, doesn't it?
Oh, very cool. Okay, we're actually getting some animations from this too.
It really does. Until you remember it's slime condensate. Next up,
oh my god, we're actually seeing us make it too.
You want to crush them up into a fine powder.
Look at the concentration.
Like powdered sugar. Wait, are those from Fontimer
Oh
adverts?
my god.
Are you sure they're edible?
And then Paimon like popping her head, and I love when they do these like aesthetically different like scenes, you know what I mean? It looks so freaking fun.
Finally, we'll need some high-protein meat. Frogs are an excellent choice.
Oh.
You just need to clean their innards, and then you're left with some lovely tender meat.
Some nice frogs.
Oh, frogs. And we're done. All that's left now is to pack them into lunch boxes and hand them to Walsey.
This is like such a fun mission so far. Like obviously, like we said, there is an underlying like, you know, mystery about like the other things we saw before. But like it's been so fun.
Yesterday in the production zone, I noticed an inmate who's been working for 2 days straight. That means it's a healthy meal for him tomorrow. Sigewinne really does have the inmate's best interests at heart.
100%. 110%. It is, that whole thing was literally a, that whole, mystery about like the mystery meats was actually just her trying to help us out because we worked for like a bunch of days straight. I actually think it's so fun. Yeah, like I love the interactions we're having now with Sigewinne. They're actually so fun. Like they're not like, again, it's a story quest, so of course, like, you know, we can always expect a turn at some point. But I think what's very interesting as well is they started off with something kind of very sad, then of something uplifting, and now something very fun as well. It's a very different dynamic usually than we're used to with story quests sometimes.
Ah, head nurse. Got some extras for me?
Just the one today. The serial number's on the lid.
Sounds good. I'll make sure it gets delivered.
Sounds like they're talking in code. Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I only wish I could do more. You work so hard for all our sakes. I'd happily lose a little sleep if it meant helping you out.
Yeah, the appreciation everyone has for Sigewinne is so apparent.
That won't do. If you reduce your sleeping hours any further, your health will start to suffer.
And she turns it around already. Like, how much she cares about everyone else as well.
All right. Nurse's orders. I'll do as I'm told. But you take care of yourself, too.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job of, like, you know,
I'm done with
expanding her
work for
character
today.
on stuff we already know.
Thanks for helping out, you two.
Like we already knew that people appreciate her. We already knew that, like, she was very helpful. But seeing it in action, like, puts a whole new, like, weight to it, to the point where, like, it's like stuck in our heads now, right? It's like we understand exactly how appreciated she is, the stuff she does every day. We're seeing that hard work in action, which is, like, by the way, it is very different than just, like, you know, hearing words or hearing the appreciation people have. We're seeing it, like, from everybody. We're seeing people, like, you know, back her up to the point that, like, when someone, like, was a slight bit rude to her, one of the guards was like, we will literally end you right now, man. It's so cool.
Seems like the guards and staff here have a lot of respect for you,
Yes.
Sigewinne. In just
Yes.
one day of helping you with your work, it feels like we've done a lot for the fortress.
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry
Oh?
to disturb you this late at night, but I think you'll agree. This is urgent.
Okay, just relax and catch your breath. What's the matter?
The guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you. One of the inmates there, the guy suffering from possible hallucinations, well, he seems to have made a sudden recovery, and now he wants to apply for permission to leave the ward.
What?
Huh? Already?
But, like, so suddenly.
You were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make sure he's well before we discharge him.
Like, what if he's just saying that just to get out of the ward?
Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left. We'll come with you.
Like, what if you realize he's not leaving unless he, you know, what if you realize he's not getting out of here unless he's, you know, says he's better? And, like, honestly, like, you know, he probably realizes, maybe he realizes well that, like, he's not gonna, oh, is that a artifact? No, it is. Okay. What if he realized that he's not gonna get anywhere by just saying the same story over again? So he probably thinks, okay, if people aren't gonna believe me, then I'll just freaking leave the freaking ward then. Then if people aren't gonna believe me, then I'll just, like, lie and say I don't believe that anymore. Maybe we'll see what happens here, but I'm super interested in this guy's story.
Ah, head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but I believe I've now made a full recovery.
Within a day?
After giving it some thought, I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things.
Yeah, so he's changing his story.
I imagine. I'd been working long hours, so I definitely wasn't in the best state of mind.
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you, okay? So, take a deep breath and don't be nervous. It'll be the exact same procedure as we did this morning. We can start whenever you're ready.
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Okay, something's...
Not at all. It's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
First up, we have a little cognitive test. Just concentrate and you'll be fine. To start with, which finger am I holding up?
Your pinky.
Okay, so he completes the series. Okay, he completes the series of full tests. Okay.
Right. All indicators seem normal.
It's just weird he changed his story. He to be so passionate about it, then to change his story, you know?
So it was a stress-induced hallucination after all? Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production zone. I wonder how I managed to miss the signs this time.
Especially since you are so observant.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting, that's all. Pushed myself too hard, and I guess I couldn't take it. Thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep. And if you can give me the okay, I know I'll sleep better back in my good old dorm.
It can be difficult to relax in an unfamiliar environment. Alright right then.
Agree with that, by the way.
You can leave the ward. I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery. I'll take you off the observation list for now. So, you're officially discharged.
There we go.
Great. I can't thank you enough, head nurse.
Mr. Odilon, could you escort him back?
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight, so nothing will go wrong. You have my word.
Yeah, I love how they show through little things like this how much they appreciate Sigewinne. Like, they're trying to reassure her as well. Like I will make sure everything goes okay for you.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh?
Yeah, it just makes me nervous, though. I don't know, I'm still nervous.
Yep. But I still haven't gotten around to making that improved lotion for you yet. Oh, no rush. Seriously, it's super late now. You should go get some rest, too. Well, tomorrow it is then. Good night, Traveler. Good night, Paimon. Hope you sleep well. Oh, don't you worry. We will. After a productive day of work, we're both gonna sleep like a log.
Good night, Sigewinne.
Yeah, sleep tight, Sigewinne. See you tomorrow.
I think it's like, you know, we have this equal thing when it comes to the way we play this game, and I feel like you guys would agree as well. When I look back, especially when I look back at edits, it's like I feel like I am both equally I feel like we're both equally trusting and equally jaded sometimes. Switcheroo!
I really did sleep like a log. Let's go find Sigewinne.
Oh no. And the way I look at it is like we'll always give someone the benefit of the doubt, but I also feel like I personally will get like very suspicious of like, especially as we go on in the game. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, and I feel like that's like so okay, right? The more we go on in this game, the more we've like learned about, you know, the way people act in this game, the way that people act in Teyvat or Fontaine or you know, in Izuma or all these places. You can kind of be like, wait, someone said that, so what? So something's definitely going on here and stuff like that. And sometimes you're wrong. We have been wrong before when it comes to like suspicions. But I feel like, you know, it's okay to have like a healthy amount of suspicions. What is happening here? Rio is here. There's a bunch of characters here. The guy with the face thing is there again still. There's a... What? The Marechaussee are there too?
How's the infirmary even busier than yesterday?
Yeah, what's happening?
Good morning, Traveler.
Is that a different guy?
I have a few people here for a checkup, so you might need to wait for a while.
Yeah, but there's also like very official people here.
No problem. Anything we can do to help? There's a bit of a complicated situation here. I'm still getting to the bottom of it myself.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
Oh no. Oh no. Did he see someone as well that looks exactly like him?
A medical facility. Keep it down.
Oh.
Please, listen to me. I'm not Gascon. I'm Uwe.
What are you talking about?
You're a horrible liar, you know
What?
that? We get all your mugshots with the arrest warrants. It's clear as day that you're Gascon.
No, stop it. Stop it. What is
You mean
happening?
because of the way I look?
No.
I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this. Then you guys dragged me in here for
No.
an interrogation.
Is this a way for people to escape the fortress? Wait a second. Is this like the guy who we were talking to yesterday, right? I wonder if like when he's like, oh, I'm all better now, was that like a different guy then? He's just trying to escape the ward and he didn't remember what the freaking tests were. Is this what they're doing to escape the prison?
I brought you here to figure out what's going on.
God, how are they doing this though?
If you truly are the victim of an injustice, yelling isn't going to achieve anything. At most, it'll delay your vindication.
I can't.
All right. I get it.
This is nuts.
What is
Yesterday's
this?
interrogations went fine. And now this.
It's so crazy.
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday? The one brought to me by the Marechaussee Phantom? We've been questioning the inmates involved this morning. Every single one of them is claiming mistaken identity.
This is so mad.
That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been able to provide any evidence whatsoever to support their claims. Questioning them further got us nowhere, so for now, we've brought them to the infirmary.
And we thought yesterday was as busy as it got for Sigewinne.
This is just making me scared. Like, how are they doing this switcheroo stuff? How are they like, yeah, changing? Oh, does it have anything to do with the melting faces as well?
We've compiled their statements. Have a look. Perhaps there's something we missed.
Baby. Potton. Who is this Potton? I'm Honore. I'd applied to go out and see a doctor, but I woke up and I was in another cell. Unbelievable. Gascon. I'm not Gascon. I'm Ule. Today I should have been the final day of my sentence, so I should have gone free. What gives? I'm Eric. Why does this always happen to me? There's no way my release papers are getting squared away today. Lazar. My name is Odilon. I'm a guard. I think I was attacked. This is terrifying.
Wait.
This is terrifying. Guys, this isn't a this is a pattern. This isn't just a coincidence anymore.
Release. Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be due for release today.
Did they swap? No.
I know.
How?
If that's their plan,
What?
they're underestimating us a little. Every serious offender claims that there's someone else who just so happens to be due for release today. And they're expecting us to go along with that.
Yeah, but okay, I totally understand from their perspective. It could just all be a plan that's plotted by all of the people in the prison, right? But this is the fact that you're saying the truth, which is like you expect us to go along with that, makes it more believable. Because who in their right mind, who has done crime for years and has been in the fortress for years, would believe that if they were making it up?
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check the release list for today and make sure no one gets processed.
Jesus.
We're gonna need an excuse, though. Just say we're out of forms, and that we're furiously printing more as we speak.
The first thing I would do is get the other people that they're saying that they are.
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released, so they can walk out right under our noses.
Oh my god.
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your investigation. Did that help?
Yes, the inmates' mugshots were attached to the list. The first thing I did was check for lookalikes, and I didn't find any. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices sound a little different today. But it's not exactly hard to put on a fake voice.
Okay, but a little different or a big different? Is it a little different in our minds? And here's the thing, I want to say as well, Morgan here, she's not bad or anything, right? I think the first thing you would all jump to is like, this is crazy, right? It's so normal for the first thing for you to jump to is be like, this is absolutely insane. Who would do this? How can we believe this? So like her trying to like, it's actually a very human thing to do, right? We all do it when we see well, most people do it. When you see something that's like very out in the ordinary, you find comfort in explaining it right away, right? And ways to explain it. And sometimes it is easily explainable, right? You know, it's like when something like a trick of the light or something, and like it's so comforting when someone goes, actually that happens when this happens, right? And in this way, it's like how could you believe it? So it makes sense that she's being skeptical about it. Like it makes perfect sense. I'm never gonna talk down to poor Morgan here who's doing her job and now has to deal with this stuff.
Oh really? What does our head nurse make of all of this?
Give me a moment. I think I have a way to confirm.
Oh my gosh, she could see. Yeah, she could. Is it something to do with the melusine powers?
It's not time to change your dressing yet, but please bear with me. Huh? Isn't that the guy from yesterday?
The guy with the burns
This
again?
should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Confronting. I authorized him to leave the fortress for medical treatment under guarded escort.
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Potton. I'm Honore.
So there has been a swap. Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case, but how do you explain the other inmates? You're not telling me their souls switched bodies.
I have no earthly idea.
No, I believe it was their faces that got switched.
What?
The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false one in. And actually, I think I can prove it to you.
Okay.
Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric from the other day? Yeah, sure do. Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the inmate who claims to be Eric.
Eric? Okay. Fetch them. Eric. Which one was Eric? Oh my god. So we have to find the suspect who claims to be Eric. Do we have to talk to them? Or is it just what they look like? Man, they're sounding so nervous, and that makes perfect sense why you would be nervous. I'm trying to remember exactly what they looked like. Was it you? That was my first kind of like inclination, but...
Eric?
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do believe me, right?
I need to do another examination on you. Same procedure as yesterday.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right? So I need to concentrate.
So that's the guy who saw his doppelganger. Saw someone who looked exactly like him.
Now, try to recall if you can. The last time we did this test, which finger did I hold up?
So the other guy, she held up the pinky. For him, it's the index finger.
I believe
yes.
It was your index finger.
Oh my god!
But that means...
It wasn't the same person. It was the pinky finger last time.
So basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered and applied to leave the observation ward.
Yeah, so suddenly.
Sigewinne did another test before letting him leave, but that time, she held up her pinky finger.
Huh? I don't know about any test last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed. Then I somehow woke up in a high-security cell.
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation for the strange events of the past 2 days.
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders wanted to break out of prison, so they identified a group of scapegoats, namely inmates whose terms were almost up, and planned to switch appearances with them.
This is one of the most insane premises for a story quest they've ever done.
Last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their groups switch appearances with him using their face-swapping method. That allowed them to avoid scrutiny from the other guards. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon spent his night shift carrying out the remainder of their switcheroo plan.
It literally is a switcheroo.
However, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted by the real Eric.
First of all, this track is one of my favorites in the game. Also, this is like, I'm so happy that like the characters are like, they had a very reasonable timeline of believability here, where they went from being like, this is crazy, this can't happen, this is off the wall, there's no way this could happen, like most people would be, to then getting like a bunch of evidence and being like, oh yeah, like this is what happened. And like, I think it's much better than having like characters just be like, I won't believe it, this can't be true. It's like, no, this is Tevat. Crazy things happen all the time. I've never seen something as crazy as this, but like, we have this evidence in front of us. It's too crazy to be a coincidence.
Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now. So we put it down to hallucination and sent him to the observation ward. However, since one of the gang members was posing as a guard, they simply changed real Eric's appearance and had their Eric take his place, muddying the waters even further.
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then, and no inmates on that list can be processed for departure until I've discharged them.
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little stunt to get fake Eric off the list.
Yeah, it all makes sense now! The Duke cracked the case!
Yeah, he did a good job there. And I'm glad that he's like very reasonably like putting this all together.
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out the possibility of face switching very early on in this process.
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the melusines in the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify criminals in disguise.
Okay, so this is like a common thing in Tevat. So maybe I like didn't get it like completely right here. Like I thought it was like maybe something that was off the wall for me too. So maybe like the reason why they're actually like, you know, committing this to evidence a lot quicker is because this is actually a normal thing.
We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
Any means that we know, though, right?
Well then, how do we explain all this?
Yeah, like the evidence is too high.
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release, and are using that to commit identity
Yeah,
fraud.
but how do you explain the finger and the like? Because if they were trying to be that other person who's due for release, right? Wouldn't they just say pinky finger? Like, it would get them free right away.
Actually, there is a potion that can completely change someone's appearance. If they use that, even a melusine wouldn't be able to detect it. A shape-shifting potion?
Forgive me, head nurse, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. If such a potion truly existed, it would jeopardize our entire investigative process at the Marechaussee Phantom. Are you certain of this?
You just have to add it to your investigation process.
Yes, I am.
But
Please, trust me in my professional opinion as an experienced clinician.
Yeah, no, please do. Please
At
do.
the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places,
Yes.
then have a little talk
Yes.
with both sides, we might just
We
get
said
our
this
answer.
and we said this. Please get the other guys.
Yep. Let's do that.
okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations. And I know it's put you out. We'll do it your way.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked, but we were too late. A bunch of people
Oh my
already got
god, they're
processed
already
2 hours
gone.
ago.
They're already
I checked the
gone.
list, and sure enough, it's all the people who gave statements.
2 hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began. They had this all planned out.
Everything's too perfect, right? It's too perfectly
so
done.
there really was a switch after all. They really pulled the wool over
It's
our
okay,
eyes on this
Morgan.
one.
Morgan, like, it's okay. Like, you can't be expected to, like, fully understand all of this stuff. Like, like, at least I don't.
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now, right?
Not if that potion is real. They can just switch faces again after leaving the fortress.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And if the Marechaussee's melusines can't even spot them, we wouldn't know where to start searching.
Yikes! So we're at a complete dead end!
Is there anything we can do? Are we thinking of something? Is Rio thinking of something? This is awesome, man. Look at the tension in the room.
Technically, there is one more lead we could follow up on.
Seized?
We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. I believe his name is Rawat.
So Rawat is coming back, and we had to expect he would be like making an appearance somewhat again, right? They made this whole new character.
What? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at that skincare promotion?
Handsome? Maybe from a human point of view. I just remember that he specialized in potions.
C said, whatever floats your boat. She's like, that's a hear me out if I ever heard one.
One of the crimes this gang is charged with is the manufacture and sale of illicit drugs. According to Mr. Rawat, they appear to have stolen technology he developed through his research and used it in their operation.
So Rawat has technology that can shift faces and change people's faces?
At first, he thought it was a typical case of intellectual property infringement, and he tried to negotiate with them. But once he discovered their criminal operation, he reported them to the authorities. Thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them all in one go.
It sounds like we need to talk to Rawat as well, right? We need to, and that's what
What a
Cease probably is
hero.
getting at.
But that took courage on his part.
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that Rawat will be targeted by the escapees.
True.
That aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll have some additional information for us.
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime, please keep an eye on the face switch victims for us.
Of course.
Such an interesting
Miss
case.
Morgan, I'd like to come along and help you catch these criminals.
So how do you pronounce it?
Miss Morgan?
Morgan.
I'd like to come along and help you catch these criminals.
Okay, Miss Morgan. I was calling her Morgan.
Why's that?
Well, I'm the one who discharged the fake Eric last night. So I feel partly
Sigewinne.
responsible.
Don't say that, head nurse. Your focus was on the inmate's health, and rightly so.
Yeah, you just let someone who's healthy
We can't
go.
ask you to help with arresting criminals. That's our duty.
Exactly. I like Morgan a lot, and Cease. They're a good duo.
I also have a more personal reason. Cotton is a patient of mine, and if I don't get a new batch of medicine to him in time, his condition will get much worse.
Sigewinne. She cares so much.
Look, head nurse, I completely understand where you're coming from. But arresting criminals is dangerous business. And if anything happened to you,
Sigewinne is so tough,
none
though.
of us can afford to take on that responsibility.
I've seen her demo. She's actually, I'm not even like joking, like, she actually has some really cool abilities.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I can defend myself just fine.
You say that, but still...
Rio will probably, you can see Rio's probably gonna speak
If I
up.
may, Miss Morgan, Sigewinne is the one who raised the potion hypothesis, and I'm sure she has far more expertise on the topic than your team. My suggestion would be to bring her with you. And if you really are worried for her safety, then...
Wait. Yeah, we're coming along. Yeah, we're coming along as well.
Ah, there you go, right on cue. Knew I could count on you.
And yeah, Sigewinne, we see, again, I know it's like sounds like a comedic thing to say. I've seen her demo. She's actually very good. Like, she has a very good moveset, but also as well, like, combined with us as well. There's no way someone's gonna hurt us.
Okay. Well, since this plan has the Duke's blessing, far be it from me to refuse. We should head off immediately. Time is of the essence.
Very well. Yeah, like, I appreciate always, like, how they do side characters in this game as well. Oh, we're going to the Fontaine Research Institute. I do appreciate oh my god, we haven't been up here in so long, but I appreciate how they do side characters in this game quite a bit. The way that, like, this character, these two characters, Ceased and Morgan, showed up and, like, already, like, not stole the scene, but like carved their path into a scene with, like, vision-wielding, nameable characters that have been here so long, and they've, like, held their own in a way. And I feel like that's always awesome how they do NPCs in this game. It's like, they just felt like real people within this world as well.
The rain stopped? Okay, that's good.
Oh. He's so good, he's so perfect, he's so perfect. He's so perfect.
Greetings. Sorry to impose, but I'm afraid we're here on urgent business. And we're gonna need you to cooperate.
Music is beautiful, isn't it?
The Marche Phantom. Let me guess, you're investigating some more illegal research?
Not this time, no. We're looking for a researcher. Do you know where we might find Mr. Rawat?
Rawat. Oh yeah, Mr. Handsome, right?
Mr. Handsome?
He actually doesn't work on site here very often. There's a handful of researchers in the nearby area who know him pretty well, though. You can see what they know.
Just a handful? Paimon figured he'd be the most popular guy around.
So Paimon's calling him handsome all the time as well. I wonder if Paimon, obviously, like, for her perspective, she does have, like, or she does think he's very handsome, which is very sweet.
Well, I guess you could say he's popular.
Very sweet.
At least on a superficial level. He's blessed with good looks, so he tends to make a good first impression on people. But in all his time here at the Fontaine Research Institute, I don't think he's ever had a single deep conversation about his research with his peers. That's no way to make real friends around here.
I don't know how the inner workings of the Institute work, so I'm not sure if I could even give an opinion on that, to be honest.
That's so weird. He definitely didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion.
This music's gorgeous.
Oh, I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's good at making friends. Really? Paimon couldn't tell. Must be a melusine perception thing.
Okay, we should talk with his acquaintances. But we also need to check the Research Institute for any clues. Let's split up. It'll save us some time.
Perfect.
Sure thing. We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Sigewinne. Paimon's suddenly kind of curious to know what everyone really thinks of him.
Very cool stuff. Yeah, this is like such an interesting quest to me already, but like also like I said, I don't know like the inner workings, as we said, of like the Institute, so I don't know how, like, we know a little bit about it, but we don't know like about the social situations there as well, so we can't really speak on that aspect of it as well. But we'll see what these characters think of him with Audrey.
Excuse us, are you Audrey?
That's me. What is it?
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out where he is.
Close friends? You mean because I told him I had feelings for him once? I doubt I'm the first or last at the Institute to make that mistake.
A mistake?
Why would you single me out as a close friend? I should have known, really. Men like him, they just enjoy being surrounded by fawning women. They're not interested in a serious relationship.
So you wanted to be in a relationship with him, and he's not the type that likes relationships, I suppose.
Okay. We were just kind of wondering if you might know where we can find him.
Why would I know where he's at? I barely know him, and he probably doesn't even remember me.
Did Paimon just give her did Paimon just do a cool story on the girl? Like, I guess, like, it's like, you know, she's clearly very upset by this, Audrey, because, like, and here's the thing, like, I think it's such a common thing, especially if something still bothers you so late into, like, you know, that, into it happening. It could have happened years ago, but because it still bothers you, whenever someone brings up, like, the name or whatever, the first thing you do is, like, bare your soul about that situation because, like, you've been ready to do it, right? So it's obviously upset her that, like, he didn't want a relationship, whatever. Again, I don't know what the situation was or what the perfect situation would be for both of them. But, like, it's very clear that, like, it still upsets her, and that's why she, like, told every aspect of that to them right away, right?
Ugh, this is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else?
Paimon's being very funny as well.
I think she knows Rawat better than she cares to admit. If we leave now, it might be a wasted opportunity.
Maybe she's trying to dismiss it because again, like, what happened back then hurt her. She's kind of like, oh, how would I know him? Like, someone else probably knows him better as well.
Maybe, but we're not going to get much out of her while she's in this state, are we?
And, like, on Paimon, I think Paimon's in the motion now where she's like, I don't want to, like, have to listen to, like, someone's relationship stuff now because, like, we're in a very serious situation.
She's displaying symptoms common among people in love, if that's what you mean.
There we go.
But I know a cure.
You know a cure to love?
It's curable? Oh, we're still no closer to finding
Oh
Mr.
my god,
Rawat.
Sigewinne!
By this point, he could be in grave danger.
Oh my god, is this gonna...
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right, yeah! The Marshose Phantom said that he's been targeted by some pretty bad people. We need to make sure he's safe.
So that's it. That's why she brought it up right away. She still has feelings for him.
What? How has this happened? He seemed fine when I last saw him, and that was only a couple of days ago. Just happened to run into him, of course.
Oh, I see. Well, do you have any thoughts on where he might be right now?
Okay, but this is purely out of concern for his safety. If he's not at the Institute, he might be at his mother's place.
Okay.
I heard she raised him alone, that they had it pretty tough financially, and these days she's housebound due to illness. He makes regular trips back home to check on her.
So you do know a lot. You definitely do know more than you were saying you did.
Oh, okay. Do you know the address?
Let's see.
Nope, sorry. I only found out the thing about his mother because it came up in conversation once. I was just trying to find out more about him, you know, so I could get to know him better. When I told him I had a crush on him, I offered to help him take care of his mother. And yeah, maybe that was a stupid idea, but did he really have to yell at me for it?
Yelled at you?
It's like, fine, I can take no for an answer, but what's with the temper
Interesting.
tantrum?
No, very interesting response to someone, like, because even if, like, even if it is, like, crossing, like, a boundary, like, hey, like, you know, I don't need you helping out my mother or whatever, which is fair. If you ever want to be like, hey, though, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's my mother. We don't know each other that well. Interesting to, like, yell at her.
Unbelievable. These guys only want to show you their charming, well-groomed exterior. They can't stand it when a few home truths shine through.
Looks like her love syndrome is flaring up again. We need to find out Mr. Rawat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marshose officers when we regroup.
Okay.
Cool, sounds like a plan.
It sounds like with Audrey and Rawat is that, like, she said, hey, I really like this guy. He's super handsome. And she tried to get to know him. But it sounds like she probably maybe again, like, you know, probably, and I don't think it's like a bad thing to be like, hey, do you need help with your grandmother? You know, like as a way to like maybe like be like, okay. But like, I don't know, like I think it's clearly that it's a personal thing for him. But the response is interesting. Like if he actually did yell at her, it's a very interesting response. Because I think it's 100% appropriate for Rawat to be like, yo, like, that's, you know, that's a personal thing. We don't need to even get into that right now. You know, it's perfectly normal for him to do that. But I wonder, like, if it's a very unbelievably sensitive topic for him as well. Yeah, I don't think we need to get involved in whatever was going on there, I suppose.
Hey there, are you in Keep?
What do you want?
We're here to ask about Rawat. Any idea where he might be? We were told you were pretty close with him.
Close? Not sure that's the word I'd use. He wouldn't even let me use his patent.
Huh?
It's been a good few days since I last saw him. I don't know where he's at. Go ask someone else.
Would the patent in question happen to be related to the new skincare product he developed?
Yeah, kinda. Butterfly dew, or whatever he calls it. I heard he made a tidy sum off of that one.
So that's maybe it's to do with the secret ingredient that he wouldn't tell us at the start?
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Keep going.
Most of the other researchers here focus on mechanics, energy, stuff like that. I get why he wouldn't be interested in having anything to do with them. But I'm studying coatings. There's a huge overlap in our areas of research. Why would he refuse to work with me?
Again, it seems like there's something he's like wants to keep hidden. And like it maybe I wonder if it is related to his grandmother in some way, because he definitely like, you know, was very sensitive about the idea of someone asking him to help with his grandmother as well. Now I want to combine our researches because they would help each other. He's like very kind of like, no, I'm not doing it.
I bought his product once and noticed it contains a unique substance that might have applications in coatings too. If it worked out, I could probably make as much as he's making. Don't get me wrong, I had no intention of plagiarizing his work. I was hoping to get official permission to use his findings in my own research. Followed the proper procedure. It was all above board. I would have had to pay him a license fee and everything. But despite that, he turned me down not once, not twice, but 3 times. It's like he's vehemently opposed to the idea of anyone else making the kind of money he does.
I wonder if that's the case or if it is something that he's hiding, right? There's something he's hiding.
Is Rawat antisocial, or is this guy just jealous?
Maybe both?
Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any info about Rawat's whereabouts from him. Let's go.
Yeah, another interesting conversation.
Wait, 1 second. Mr. Antibes?
Oh.
Next time you go shopping, you should buy some Buell fruits. Peel the skin, steep in water, then drink. It'll help calm your mood.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks.
Why is that like, that made me like choke up a little bit. The idea that Sigewinne is like, I see this guy is like really stressed out. Let me give him a little bit of like a little bit of advice. You know what I mean? Very, 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 very sweet. Yeah, we have 2 people so far that are like, have said 2 things that are like not similar, but like one person's like, hey, his research is being hidden from me because he must make his own money, which I don't know if that's the full story, right? Because I'm thinking that maybe he has something he's hiding. Because if he doesn't want anyone to see his grandmother as well, then that's something else. And again, by the way, like I said, there's nothing wrong with pulling up a curtain and being like, hey, you're not seeing my grandmother, you're not seeing my research, right? That's like if it's everything is above board, it's like, okay, fine, right? That's not like totally unusual, totally. But it seems that they are trying to indicate to us that there is something that he is trying to like keep away from everyone in some way.
Sorry to bother you, sir, but are you Bertram?
Who's asking?
Just some concerned citizens helping out the Marechaussee Phantom with an investigation. We'd like to ask you about Rawat's whereabouts, if that's okay. We're told the 2 of you are pretty close.
Not anymore, we're not. Turns out we don't see eye to eye.
Again, another person who's like, nah, it's not that close, not that close.
What happened?
The thing about us researchers is, most of us do what we do for some sort of higher purpose. But not Rawat. All he cared about was how to commercialize his findings. He won't even let you work with him unless you sign a confidentiality agreement first. Also, he has better control over who gets which intellectual property rights. How are you supposed to get any meaningful research done working with a guy like that? Now that I've got my own technical solution for my compressor, I don't need to work with him anymore.
So again, he's being unbelievably protective of his intellectual properties, and yeah, okay.
So that's what Rawat is really like. We'd still like to know where to find him. Is that something you can help us with?
Wait, Yeah, I know you. You're the head nurse at the Fortress of Meripede. Alright, then I'm happy to help you if I can. I respect the work you do. Medicine serves the highest purpose of all the sciences.
Very nice. You know what? Very true in a lot of ways, right?
Wow, turns out Sigewinne's got some real clout.
Thing is, I have no real way of knowing where he might be. I stopped working with him 2 months ago, and I've barely seen him since. But if you want my advice, I'd say go talk to the peddlers. There's a few he meets with every other day or so. Maybe they know where he's at.
Peddlers?
Yeah, back when I was working with him, I noticed he met with them quite often. Wouldn't surprise me if they were involved in some shady business together, because it seemed like they went out of their way to avoid discussing anything in my presence. The little I overheard was about manufacturing and selling pharmaceutical drugs. Like I said, he's all about the money.
Drugs? Doesn't he work with skincare products? Do those count as drugs?
They're in drugstores, but...
Who knows? I never cared to find out. He's the morgue rubber, not me.
Thank you. You've given us plenty to work with.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Goodbye, and may we both reach new heights in our scientific
This guy's nice.
endeavors.
This guy's a very pleasant dude. It seems as though...
That's all three researchers. Let's head back to the meetup point.
It seems as... Where's the meetup point? Oh, it's over there. Okay. It seems as though, like, what we've learned from those conversations there is that he is someone who likes money from people's perspective. He likes to keep his intellectual properties to himself. And also he likes to keep a lot of aspects of his personal life very secret as well, to a point that he would, like, shout at someone as well over that stuff. All of them in a row, right, are not the worst thing in the world, right? But obviously, like, you know, there is something else going on here, but it's finding that underlying thing as well, to be honest. As always in these quests. Man, so impressive looking at all this stuff. So impressive.
You know, Hyman started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality.
Hyman loves mentioning that handsomeness.
I'm surprised to learn that his peers have a different impression of
It's
him.
very adorable though, isn't it? It's very adorable.
So, what's your view of him now, Paimon? A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into a profit chaser with a chip on his shoulder? So your thoughts about his appearance haven't changed at all?
Hyman thinks he's cute.
Well, his looks are kind of a big deal. At least in Paimon's opinion. How did such a handsome guy end up being so antisocial? Even with his difficult family background, it just doesn't make any sense.
This is an interesting point from Paimon. But I think that, like, one of the things that, like, is always very strange is that, like, we don't know how anyone's gonna act no matter what. There's so many people, like, we see, like, that you would see that are, like, you're like, oh, man, like, that dude, he's so freaking hot, man. He's so hot. And it's like, I bet, like, you know, he's, like, you know, always talking to people. He's always, like, you know, like, I bet, like, everyone's trying to talk to him. And then you find out that he's, like, you know, has, like, maybe one best friend. He's just, like, you know, going about his business. And it's the same all, like... I really feel like you can never tell about this one. Now, from Paimon's perspective, I think it's interesting because, you know, Paimon's not trying to be, like, shallow in any way. She's just saying that, like, oh, he's, like, so handsome, and she saw him being so charismatic there at the introduction that it would just make sense that he would have a lot of people to talk to or be very social, but from this perspective, he's not.
You can't judge a person solely based on their appearance.
True.
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken with the researchers.
Although they're phantoms as well.
What did you find out?
You exchange intelligence you've gathered. You have anything you got as well?
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchants. Do you know if he's registered any pharmaceutical brands?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him. I don't remember there being any brands under his name.
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and averse to sharing his technology with others, why wouldn't he have registered his own brands? Maybe he and his business partners needed to avoid public scrutiny?
You think he may have colluded with the gang? Well, the crime was manufacture and sale of drugs.
Yep.
and that would certainly be in his wheelhouse. We can't rule it out.
I think it's definitely a normal thing to suspect, right? Like if he's able to do this type of like stuff, and like they got him like a product from him.
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the one who blew the whistle on them!
Maybe he's trying to cover his tracks.
Most children who come to me with tooth decay have suffered pain for a long time already, but they'll still try to hide the fact that they eat too many sweets. Grown-ups and children aren't so different in that regard.
Yes, so she's saying that like, yeah, that people still hide stuff.
If you say so.
I saw him when he came to make his report, and I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's more likely that they were coercing him. You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible that the criminals approached him asking for academic support, luring him in with the promise of riches. By the time he discovered who they really were, he was in too deep. They had leverage on him, so he was forced to keep working for them. I've seen it happen many times before.
Interesting.
That does make a lot of sense. It would definitely explain why he was so unwilling to cooperate with his fellow researchers.
If he's hiding something as well.
No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his neck.
And then, if someone suggests, hey, I can help you out with your grandmother, like, to get them away from any personal aspects of his life right away, to like shout at someone, a lot of people, especially if they're under pressure, are going to think like that's going to work. You know what I mean? Like right, and it does work. Like if people are going to not want to even go near you again, if you're the type of person who would like just, berate someone right away after like one question, you know what I mean? Because like, even though, again, like I said, there's boundaries and stuff like that, but I also feel like, if someone's like, hey, can I help you out with your grandmother if you want? Like, the appropriate answer might be like, oh, no, it's that's, personal thing. We'll leave it there. But he probably felt like if I need to get her off, like, get her away from this scent right away, or get her away from me right away.
In that case, the situation could be worse than we thought. If Rawat was working with the escaped inmates, they're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us. Oh, there's a good chance they'll get to him before we do.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen 2 days ago.
I love the hand movements.
If no one's seen him since, maybe we're too late.
Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
So he went missing right after that product promotion.
That was the same day he reported the criminals too. Not a good sign.
Don't worry, everyone. I believe we still have a chance. Since he disappeared right after blowing the whistle, it's likely that he's gone into hiding. Yeah, he must have been worried that they'd come for him.
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. Yep. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you mentioned earlier. Seath. Think you can find the place?
Beautiful name, Seath.
Yep.
Beautiful name.
When you register a brand, the Confronting requires you to provide a legal address. The one Rawat wrote down was in the outskirts of the city. That should be the place.
Okay, then there's no time to lose. Let's move.
Let's go for it. Much appreciated, Seath, with your amazing name. So now we're going to what is his mother's house as well. Yeah, so like it would make sense if he's hiding something from everyone, right? Then like, oh my god, this is so far up here. Then it would make perfect sense. Like so much sense to me. Like how he reacted with the girl, how he wanted no one even though that guy could have helped him with his research because they both had similar research. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. Even the guy who was like the head of the research institute there, like he was kind of like the way you kind of get better at research is by doing there's a door over there as well. By the way, we should pay her a visit if we have time at the end of this mission, or maybe like during the week. We definitely should. It's so cool to see her there. Oh, she has a quest as well. Okay, we gotta remember that. That's so cool. She looks happy as well. She looks super happy. That's awesome. But yeah, it makes perfect sense that, I'm not saying it's normal. I'm saying it just makes absolute sense that he is like trying to push people away very, very quickly and very, very aggressively if he's trying to hide something.
All right, this should be the house. I'm pretty sure this was the address.
This is pretty terrifying, right? You open the door and there's like 5 Marechaussee Phantoms here.
Okay, I'll knock.
Like, I'd be like, what the hell?
Sounds like whoever's inside has restricted mobility. Oh, it seems serious. What's the fastest way to get this door
we
open?
kick it?
Break the door down?
No,
The way she said that as well.
I'll handle it. Let the expert deal with it. There'll be a mountain of paperwork if we damage a citizen's property.
Oh, interesting. Even if you're trying to help them. But I suppose you wouldn't get in trouble, but you do have to like mark it down as like something that happened, right?
Calm down. Deep
You got this,
breaths.
Seath.
Remember your training. Control your strength.
You got this.
And it's open.
Seath.
Seath, take a few people and lie in wait. Keep your eyes peeled for any activity around the house. The Traveler, head nurse, and I will go inside.
I wonder what's this gonna entail now. Are we actually gonna see his mother? I said grandmother, but his mother's.
Hello?
It's a beautiful home. It's really pretty.
Oh, there. On the bed, there's an old lady. That's gotta be Rawat's mother, right? She doesn't look like she's in any state to be answering our questions, though.
Yeah, she looks sickly. Just the way she's kind of like lying there,
Could
like
try,
motionless.
But she is very ill. We mustn't force
Yeah.
it.
Well, doesn't look like Rawat's here. She's the only one we can talk to.
Yep. Allow me. Hello, ma'am. Might I ask if you're Rawat's mother? We are trying to locate him.
Oh no. She's she's not even with it.
Hard of hearing, perhaps. Does anyone have a picture of Rawat?
I have one here.
From the promotional stuff, maybe?
I'd like to show you a photo, ma'am. Is this your son? Do you know where he is? Looks like this isn't gonna work after all.
Well, looks like we're out of leads. If Rawat's not here, things are looking very bad for him.
Yeah, if he's not, because we're not even just like in a criminal sense, but like he could be gone, is what we're saying here.
Is it possible he could have avoided returning here because he knew he'd be in danger?
That's a good point.
Maybe. But if so, where do we look next? Maybe we should take another look
Like
at the
not to put his
institute.
mother in danger makes sense.
Yes, so.
I suggest we all return there now. We found a good amount of useful information the first time, but perhaps there's something we missed. This is our last hope.
Sorry, officer, but could I stay here for a while?
Oh, Sigewinne.
This patient requires some
Of
care.
course, of course.
Of course. Traveler, stay with the head nurse. You're technically here as her assistant
Yeah,
after all.
we are, for sure. You got it.
Also, I'd like some Marechaussee members to stay as well and keep an eye on the
Smart,
area.
very smart.
Why's that?
If Rawat knows how serious his mother's condition is, he will return.
Got it. Okay, I'll tell the squad members in hiding to stay put.
This is
and
such a
keep
cool
lookout.
mystery as well, right? It's such a cool mystery.
Thanks for helping me out yet again, Traveler and Paimon. No problem. But when you say her condition is serious, do you mean... Yes, she's barely clinging on to
Oh
life.
no. She's just genuinely just not doing good.
Oh. Let me take care of a few things first. Could you pass me the towel over there? Yeah, of course.
And it just shows it's such a it's well kept. All the flowers are really well kept. But yeah, it just shows how good of a person Sigewinne really is and how much Sigewinne cares.
Methods, including some very expensive medicines. Unfortunately, her condition is so multifaceted that a recovery looks all but impossible.
Oh no.
Sigewinne, Paimon bets being a nurse must be pretty tough at times like this. Yes, it makes me a little sad. In a melusine's eyes, a human's birth, aging, sickness, and death are as much a part of natural law as sunrise and sunset. But human medicine can defy that law to some extent. In that sense, it is a science of miracles. That's why I became fascinated with it in the first
Yeah,
place.
that's such an, like, especially with her story as well, of like how, you know, like she's, you know, with her friend and things, I guess, like it's seen as a miracle to her, which I think like makes sense in a lot of ways. Like, it's such a beautiful way to put it. But yeah, it makes sense that someone would be like, oh my god, you can prevent death, you can prevent sickness. That's so incredible.
But it was only after I truly became a doctor that I realized miracles don't always happen. Even the greatest doctors cannot cure all diseases.
Yeah. You can sense just like how much like this upsets her. Like, if she could, she would cure the whole world.
Sigewinne.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about me, Paimon. A doctor's duty is not to cure all diseases, but to treat whatever
Just do what you can.
ailments they can.
And you're already making a big difference.
At the very least, I can lower her fever. That way she'll suffer less. And she might even be able to see her son.
I can't get over how much of a sweetheart Sigewinne is. Can't get over it.
Yeah. All the more reason to find Rawat as soon as possible, even if we don't catch those crooks.
No.
Oh, her fever is getting worse. Could I get some hot water? Sure, we're on the case.
It really is like what they're doing here for Sigewinne's character. It was a very funny, like, you know, thing for a while. Like on the start of it was like a very lighthearted thing. Obviously, it started off with that very sad cutscene as well. But I think by the end of this, we're not only going to have like the same appreciation we had for Sigewinne that we already had, but like we're going to see just why she is already. I'm seeing why she is just so like the appreciation that she has almost feels like it's like not even enough. But even no, it is a lot, because I think we're just so used to her being appreciated now by like Rio and all like that. We realize that like it's not normal for someone to be appreciated that much, but you see why she's appreciated that much, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, it'd be nice if everyone got that same appreciation, but she does so much for everybody that it's no wonder that people appreciate her so much. Check the table. The storage trunk has been rifled through and some essentials are in it, but did Rawat come back previously? Check the cabinet. Found it. Fortunately, there's still some ready hot made water here. This cabinet seems to have a hidden compartment. This is... The way to the underground lab is written down in the journal. Oh my god, we have a full underground... And there's an empty frame? This seems to be a place where family photo should have been. Why has the photo itself been removed? I wonder if it is the photo. Yeah, but you can see here, like, he has been through here. He probably watered the flowers as well. You can see from the flowers being, like, super, super healthy right now as well. Sigewinne, we have a map and some hot water.
Found the hot water? Sure did. And look what else we found. Judging by this journal, it seems like Rawat has a private lab. There's a good chance he could be there right now.
Yeah,
we
100%.
gotta go tell Officer Morgan right away. Oh, that's great news. But hold on just a moment. The wet towel is ready. I'm giving you another injection. Are you feeling better now? It's all right. We'll go bring him back. Please hang in there. Thank you.
So, the switcheroo quest part of this is done as well. This poor lady has been treated somewhat by Sigewinne, and there's Ceased, just like checking out stuff here. Hello, Ceased, how are you?
No, don't look this way. I'm supposed to
Oh.
be hiding, remember? Captain's orders.
Oh, I noticed you from a mile away. Like, honestly, let's see what it looks like actually when we come up here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cease. You're doing a good job though, well done. Go to Rawat's private lab. I love that they mark it here as well. So I guess we'll have to travel for... We didn't mark any of these markings along the way, so we're just gonna have to... head there. That's all we have to do. Yeah, it's very somber, right? The idea of like seeing anyone in their dying days. It's a horrible thing. It's a really horrible thing. And what we're getting as well from like this situation is that with I guess we can fight you a little bit. Do a little superconduct.
rain outlines your fate.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Let's light it up! I'm going
Boost our attack a little bit as well.
Summon the...
Getting gear.
Nice. Yeah, that combo with Benny is always very, very good. It's the same with Eula. It's the same combo we use with Eula. And it's just very, very good. And Fremine, like, seems to, like, yeah, it's a different moveset in it, so it's obviously, like, very different in terms of, like, the fun we're gonna have with Fremine. I think it's always, like, important to, like, note as well that, like, I really like it. Like, I always pick characters I want to play as because, you know, they're like my favorite characters, or the characters I think have a cool design. That's the characters I usually choose for myself. But I think as well, like, the should we we'll mark this one. Yep. The reason I'm marking this one is because it's easier access to get down here. We're gonna be marking them all at some point as well. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, like, you know, I always see, like, people will, like, suggest things for, like, and I might as well say it now. Oh no, I'll finish my thought on the characters. Yeah, the, like, that's how I picked them out, and then, like, it's always a bonus then if they're really, really fun afterwards, and luckily we have, like, a lot of fun characters to use as well. Some have been confusing, but then when you get to hang them, they're really, really good as well. Get these as well for a bit of farming later. But yeah, a lot of people suggest stuff for, like, different things that are going to be happening with, coming up with stuff like that. I would say this right now, everything is decided. And that's not me, you know, being rude, because it's impossible for me to be rude about deciding something about the playthrough I'm doing, because it is my playthrough I'm doing. But what it basically is, oh, they're already here. What it is, oh, it's like a whole, like, dungeon, like, it's like a manhole, a giant manhole. But yeah, what it is basically, I've decided long ago what's going to be happening with the rest of this before we go to Fontaine. That's just it, really. And it's the best way to go about it as well.
It's Officer Morgan! They're already here!
Is that going to stay up on the screen? Is it going to keep happening? No, it's not. Okay.
We came as soon as we heard the news. Can't believe we were so careless.
It's okay.
The most crucial information of all was hiding right there, in that room.
We found it.
And we missed it.
We were distracted as well by the fact that there was a dying woman in the room as well, in fairness.
Don't blame yourself. Right now, we need to focus on finding a way in. There's a mechanical door over here. Hopefully the instructions in Rawat's journal will help us open it.
This is so, like, we love like a shady underground thing, right? Backdoor shady deals. But I'm so interested to see what this is about. What he's been hiding this whole time.
It's open. Let's go in.
Just like that. Is it going to be a domain, or is it going to be... It is. It's a domain. Sure. Yeah, let's go. With Fremi's world. Now domains usually... Oh, we're playing a Sigewinne as well. Oh, very cool. Obviously that was good. Like, I know, like, every time we're like, oh, that's so cool. But I think it's just like we always forget. Like, that yes, in these things you always play as, like, the demoed character as well.
Get in here?
It's been a while since I saw her,
Those look like our fugitives!
Wait.
So they found this place too? Don't let any of them escape.
I love these bubble moves as well. Yeah, look at that! It's so fun. That is legitimately so fun. Yeah, like, it's just so interesting always. I look at throwing the freaking medicine at them as well. Now you're bubbled. Get bubbled.
Getting gear.
I'm frozen in a bubble. Wow. What a day for you.
Reveal thyself. He might
This is so neat. We use her. Oh, it's like, yeah, this is so freaking kind of cool. It's an unbelievable burst. Like, it really is. Can we target more people with the bubble? I get it. It's been so long. We saw the miscellaneous video for her. This is the dude, right? We saw the miscellaneous video.
According to our list, many of the fugitives aren't accounted for. There may be others hiding deeper inside the facility.
But it's been a while. It's definitely been a while.
So these guys were just the lookout crew.
Yeah.
The Marashose Phantom. How did they find this?
Oh yeah, I was like, is that not the guard? It's like, yeah, of course he swapped with the guard as well.
Wait, it's that guard from the fortress.
That's right. I'm on your side. I mean, the Duke sent me.
No.
What's the matter? Some
No,
sort of
buddy.
mix-up?
No.
Mr. Odilon, didn't I tell you a few days ago that you need to stop all field work until you've recovered?
Is this not a swap? No?
Well, you know, gotta help His Grace out.
This is a swap.
Share the load.
Dude.
Officer Morgan, this man
Of course
is an
it is.
imposter. The real Mr.
Sigewinne!
Odilon has no recent health issues.
That is so freaking sick. She said, aren't you too sick to be doing this? And he went, ooh. So freaking good, Sigewinne.
What?
Well done.
But I...
Looks like the head nurse was right about the face-swapping method. Arrest them all!
There it is. There it is. Oh my god.
DuPont, stay here and keep guard. And watch the exit. If we're not back soon, call for
That's so
reinforcements.
smart by Sigewinne. So smart.
Got it.
But she's like an unbelievably smart character. In a similar way she tricked that kid, she tricked that dude as well. So we're gonna keep going through this. Oh, we got a chest as well. This is an interesting party as well, like having another 5-star on the team. It's actually the only 5-star on the team, actually. Through here? This is such an interesting... Oh, God. Such an interesting location. And it just does feel like an underground facility of some kind as well. Is there going to be more inmates in here, too?
So many jars.
Whoa.
Was this some sort of production facility?
It's almost like, you know, like when you had like to have those aliens in the containers.
This scent. It's probably the ingredients used to make butterfly dew. How come they're all empty? Did it sell so well that he ran out of supplies?
How strange. Why would Rawat choose to manufacture a popular product like that in such a difficult-to-reach location? Given our suspicion that he may have been coerced into the illegal drug trade, I would have thought that any production facility we find here would be used for illicit purposes.
Perhaps butterfly dew is itself an illegal drug.
Do you have any evidence for that claim?
Yeah, I wouldn't know myself.
No, just a guess. We need to find Rawat as soon as possible. He has all the answers we need.
Understood. Well, let's not linger here. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, we're just making speculations as well, which I think is totally fair also. Especially since speculations is like what production log. Been receiving less and less source of fluid. It's because of the flood after all. At least we'll be able to make our scheduled release after the batch is ready. What? Less of the source of fluid? Is there anyone on a production log around here? Okay, it doesn't seem to be. We're Sigewinne, so we should obviously play as Sigewinne as well. Yeah, like it's any underground facility makes me feel very under door resurrection. It makes me feel very nervous,
We're
but
gonna get this door open. Let's find another way around.
like this seems like, you know, there's something like definitely like, you know, he's definitely working, or it's either he's working with these guys or they're like coming down to find him, right? That's it. Oh my god, look at this place. It looks so cool.
This one's close too. What's with those carts and tracks?
And the red glow.
Oh, maybe it's one of those doors that opens when it senses cargo passing through. There's a loaded cart right over there. Let's bring it to the door and give it a try.
Oh, the tracks aren't moving, so you have to move the tracks. Rotate clockwise. Oh, okay, this actually should be pretty grand. Should be fine. Yep. We just keep it going? Oh, this track is broken. There's like something behind this window here as well. The energy in the I know the word ambiance is such a good word for this. It is like just like this. Oh wow, like it's so interesting to me. like how the energy of this place feels. Like it kind of reminds me of like, again, like it's almost like obviously like underground facility is just an easy way to put it. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like some underground facility. But I feel like at the same time it's also like, I don't know. It gives the energy off of like a lot of people working down here, right? That's what it gives the energy off of. So it's like the whole thing of like, you know, him working alone. I don't think we can like totally believe that. I swear it's for medical research. I love this move so much. I love it so much. Yeah. Like it's too big of a facility for one person to like really man, right? Like too big.
Don't slip and fall.
It's so like it's freaky. Like the red light. I know it's like that's it. It looks so cool, but this also looks terrifying, right? This gives me some like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes almost as well. Get the cop moving again. Oh, it's not connected. Okay. Rotate clockwise.
Don't slip and fall.
Counterclockwise. It's occupied by another. Oh, we have to get rid of this cart. Okay, so rotate clockwise. Move the cart. Rotate counterclockwise. Move this cart. Right, so we have to get this off the track. No, sorry. Get the cart moving. Rotate counterclockwise. Like that. Get the cart moving. Rotate clockwise. Rotate clockwise. And I move this here. That's actually a really neat puzzle. Very simple. Again, I didn't mean to move the thing like that. But no, it's an interesting puzzle, right? It's again, I feel like in Genshin the puzzles are like not too difficult, but fun, right? They're not like overly complicated all the time. Sometimes you can encounter a puzzle that's a bit weird. Like I think like, you know, sometimes it can be like very tough, some of them. But for the most part, I find them to be very, very, very pleasant. What the hell is this? Jesus Christ, and with the water there as well?
This room's much smaller than the others.
But like the presence is much bigger. Like this is like that big machine in the middle.
Judging by the implements on the table, this looks like a potion making lab.
Head nurse, over here.
What did you find?
Let's see. Huh? Rawat's clothes. Why would he change here? Perhaps they stripped him down, left the clothes behind, and disposed of him somewhere else? Yikes, Sigewinne, where did that come from?
I mean, she's like, I think even though she has a very sweet exterior, she's been working in like a, I know it sounds weird, like, yeah, like it's like, you know, they stripped him down, let his clothes behind, disposed of him somewhere else. She's been working in like a prison for a long time. Like, while it's a very shocking thing to say, to me, like, I'm not even trying to be like, oh, it makes it, because it's shocking. Of course it's shocking. But, like...
Oh, what a tragic
she's probably, like, heard of so many crimes.
With such a bright future ahead of him.
So many crimes. This place is too big for him to be working alone, though. That's the thing.
There's a path leading further on, Officer Morgan. Let's keep up the pace.
Right? Like, I understand that we're still on the line of, like, that he's not working with them, but something about this just feels too big for one person. And that note said we, didn't it? That note said we. So there is other people working here at the very least. Oh, some cabbages. Yeah, I know, it seems way too big for me. I think it's actually like, what's this? Experiment log. The supply of the source of fluid is completely dried up. Though that means that the final batch will have to fetch a good price. Finding a new way to refine the liquid might be better of use. No, it's too late. So the source of fluid has been gone. It's leaving. Or they don't have enough of it anymore. Oh, here's the place we were before. Interesting. So it seems like they are. Oh my god, this place. Wait, something broke out? What? Who? What? This could be something very dangerous. It seems like we're going to like oh yeah, we're going to a cutscene. Do you see Rawat there? Oh my god.
There's a bunch of people in there.
Buddy movie vibes for sure. I love that. Love that a lot.
Are you serious? You're telling us that within a day, our faces are going to rot like yours?
Wait, is that what happened to the other guy?
Fontanian physiology changed dramatically after that great flood, and it's not as compatible with this face-changing solution as before. The side effects are as you can see.
And that's after what happened with Nervalette, right? When he changed everyone from being Oceanids to being like fully fledged humans. So that's probably like why it's yeah.
Why didn't you say anything before we all used it?
Look, my plan got you all out of prison, didn't it? You'd have much bigger problems to worry about right now if the Marshal say Phantom found out about your other crimes.
I can't see Rawat anywhere, by the
Consider
way.
an ugly mug, getting off lightly.
So I wonder if they're using primordial water.
Ugh. You're just lucky we didn't leave you in there after you disappeared on us with no warning. We only let it slide because we're former partners. And now you have the gall to pull a stunt like this?
Partners? Make no mistake, each of us is only looking out for himself. If you place too much trust in others, well, I'm afraid that's your problem. You hid things from me too. Remember how you each had a spare potion? You kept quiet about it until we planned the prison break?
Oh, and you didn't have a secret spare? Then do you want to explain how you melted your face off before all this?
This is like so interesting, the infighting as well they have here as well.
Guys, that's enough. Calm down. It is what it is. Arguing won't change anything. What's the plan, Parton? I'm assuming you brought us here for a reason?
There is no plan. We followed him here on the promise of more juice. But it turns out there ain't a drop here.
Yeah, and all the notes said all the source was gone.
Besides,
it all dried up.
What does it matter now anyway? He already said, even if we did get our hands on more of that stuff, switching faces again solves nothing. They're still gonna meld off eventually.
I said enough arguing. Parton, tell us the plan.
This is the guy as well, by the way, that did the pinky finger thing.
The most practical solution is to continue using the potion. Keep switching to a new face before the ulcers can start
You have to
forming.
continue to switch faces over and over again?
Are you kidding
That's just
me?
not practical.
This stuff was hard enough to get a hold of even when we had a supply. Now you're asking us to use it like skin lotion after the flood all but wiped the supply out?
Well, there is another option. But you'll have to make a deal with me first.
Okay, now we're talking. What's the deal?
I have a document I took from that researcher that details how to make a replacement.
Look at them.
Just give me one bottle of the undiluted fluid, and I'll get to work. What's the problem? I thought you always kept reserves. Or do you really just have one spare
God, I
bottle
actually
each?
adore seeing like the shady deals like this as well of all like the criminal underworld. It's so cool when they inject this into Genshin stories.
What do you think? That we were shipping them into the fortress of Meripede by the basket load?
Well then, say hello to never showing your marred faces in public again.
He's like he's basically saying unless you. So okay, let me just summarize what's happening here, just so I'm like not that we're not fully understanding, but it's crazy, right? They have been swapping faces with people, but now they can't do it as easily because of what happened with Nervalette and the prophecy. And now he's saying that other people, if they don't keep swapping faces, they're going to end up with like a melting face because of what Nervalette did, changing everybody's like composition or whatever, leaving them now with faces that are susceptible to melting.
I've heard enough. Get him! Let's see if that document even
Dude,
exists.
it's not gonna stop your face melting.
Freeze!
Yeah.
Marshal say Phantom!
What? Who let them
Who
in?
let them in? We got in.
Officer Morgan, before anything else, please find out Rawat's status.
Very smart, Sigewinne.
Rawat?
I don't see him. Hand over the hostage now. If you want any chance of avoiding an extension to
Do
your
you see what I mean? How they turn an NPC into like a fully fledged like character in these games? They do, in Genshin, they do it so well.
Spare us your condescending attempts to coax us back to our cells. You think we're looking
What?
to negotiate? Rawat is dead.
So he's gone.
Parton?
He's just.
Arrest them all! Don't let anyone get away!
Wait, why would they give that up so easily, though, as well? But I suppose if they did actually... Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they did actually hate him. There could be that possibility as well. I'm not sure.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Odds reveal thyself.
Rain outlines your fate. Huh? Let me weave you a verse.
Commencing cleanup!
Yeah, that could be the possibility now. That if they did actually hate him for real...
Getting here! Frost is coming!
Then, like, maybe my whole assertion of that, like, they're working together could be wrong. I just thought that this facility was too big for, like, one person to, like, to man. You know what I mean? For one person just to be working here. It seemed like there was more people working here than, like, just one person.
The wrong test subject.
But then again, if he was good, maybe it's like a well-oiled machine type thing.
Rain cutter.
Day reckoning!
And like, no matter what. See, that's a physical attack, I think, as well, so you have to wait for the second one. Or the third. Yeah, it could be a possibility. It's just a very, like I think it just, we've gotten more used to it as the mission has gone on. But this idea of face swapping to me is still so terrifying. And like, I understand it's apparently a normal thing in Teba, and it's a normal thing for the Marashose hunters, or whatever. But like, it's not, I don't think it's ever going to be truly normal for me. I don't think I'm ever going to like be like, oh yeah, man, of course. Face swapping.
Gotta say, I never expected to see the head nurse in combat.
She's so fun. That burst is one of the most fun bursts to do ever. It's so fun.
Some patients respond better to a more aggressive treatment
Okay,
plan.
actually good one. Very good one.
Captain, we finished the head count. Potten's missing.
Potten's gone? So that was the guy who was like, you know, making the deals.
Over there! The door's closing!
Oh god. This is such a good freaking quest. I love the mystery of it.
One group trying to arrest me, another trying to hunt me down. Good. I gotta kill two birds with one stone.
Oh my god, and he's all up there as well.
How did he get up there? There must be a secret passage somewhere. Find it!
Don't waste your energy. I already sealed it off.
How naive. We have more people outside. If we're not back out by the agreed time, they'll come to our rescue.
I'm in love with this quest, not just because of not just because of like how cool Sigewinne is, but the mystery. Like, look at this setting as well, Ren, as well, this underground laboratory with this like very like clearly off his rocker guy is being so interesting to the point that like all of a sudden this Potten guy went from being just this guy who like had an investigation about him in the fortress to being someone who like I'm so interested in just hearing from him. Even though I want to defeat him as well, I want to hear him speak. I want to hear what the full story of this is. They do such a good job with this stuff.
Well then, you'd better hope they get here in time.
So sinister. So sinister. What are you doing?
There's some kind of gas leaking from the pipes. Oh, be careful, it's poisonous.
This is our distribution center, where we store the product derived from our source solution. We had to use special fire prevention methods to prevent contamination. The pipe network here was designed to emit a gas for firefighting. One little modification later, and it makes an efficient death trap.
He is extremely sinister.
Why would you do this? Your partners are here too.
Oh, please. If they can't supply what I need, they're of no further use to me.
Yep.
Besides, I can't have them exposing my potential whereabouts.
I think we all got that vibe, right? The fact that he was definitely on the outside of that group. He didn't care about them at all.
He's a maniac! Come on, we gotta find a way to open that door!
Go ahead, struggle in vain.
Like, look at this guy.
Once the last of you croaks, no one will ever find me again. So long!
Terrifying.
Are you sure you're ready to leave, Potten? You haven't changed your dressing today.
Sigewinne.
You can't cure my face. Just give up.
And what if I could?
Nice try. You're just
But it's
trying to
working.
stall me. Don't you worry about me. I'll find a way to cure my face once I get out of here.
Oh, I doubt it. After all, Fontanians can no longer dissolve in primordial seawater.
Yes, after what Nervalette did.
What the?
Oh, he stopped.
How did
For
you?
a man who's so confident, he's like stopped at his tracks.
The key component of the face-changing potion is the fluid left
Wait.
behind by dissolved Fontanians. It might look like
Wait.
ordinary water, but it has some unique elements in it. Before the flood, all Fontanians were cyanids, physiologically
Before what
speaking.
Nervalette did, but no, we're not saying that. It's not primordial water at all.
A potion made from that fluid could dissolve and reconstruct the face
What?
of Fontanians
No!
in much the same way as hydroidolins change form. Theoretically, it could give someone any appearance they wished. But since the flood, Fontanians have become true humans. They can no longer provide the source material for this potion, nor reap its
I'm sorry that I'm just like going through the dialogue here. I'm like, I need to like find out like if this is true or not, but like at this point I'm kind of thinking that yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. Why on earth would like that is so dark. That went from being like we were kind of like, oh, it's probably like primordial water or something like that. It's probably like something, that's why the source is dried up. To being like, no, it's dissolved humans again. What the hell? This game can be so sinister sometimes. This game can like have so much like, not the game itself, but the people in the game.
Are you saying this potion is made from Fontanians dissolved with primordial seawater? Then their crimes are far worse than I thought.
No.
How
no.
could you know all of this? No, wait.
Wait, so
of
did...
course. Well. So that's why you have a human appearance.
Is he accusing Sigewinne of this, or is this confirmation that that's the potion that she used? Is that what they're saying?
Also means that I have a formula you're unaware of.
Stop.
The air's getting thicker. It's getting hard to breathe.
That's so sinister. That is so sinister, though. Like, I thought I've seen it all. I thought I saw all the sinister stuff in Fontaine. Oh my... I am like... To describe
I might get to make
how
a
I'm
deal
feeling right
today
now.
After all. Alright, keep talking. How do you intend to give me the
And
formula?
I feel like the only way I can describe is like the bodily changes that happen. Like my arms got super stiff, and like, you know when you feel that like the chill, but it's almost like a heat going across your back in a way or something like that. Like it felt like I was like it like stopped me in my tracks so quickly. That is disgusting.
Oh, it's not a formula, but a finished product. I have a bottle of it right here.
What?
When I tried Rawat's skincare product, I noticed it had a certain special component in it. So I had my friends gather some other ingredients for me, and sure
Oh
enough,
my god.
a little experimenting later, I'd produced the potion.
Rawat said that it would work especially on Fontanians.
I'm guessing his skincare lotion contains the fruits of your joint research?
Huh. Impressive guesswork. Yeah, we were his supplier for some of the raw ingredients.
Stop. Rawat, what were you doing, buddy? Yeah.
But it only contains a tiny amount of the active ingredient. The effect is minuscule compared to the undiluted fluid.
Well, I found a way to reverse the dilution process, giving the skincare lotion a similar effect
That's-
to the fluid it is derived from.
This is all impressive as heck, Sigewinne. But if I'm just being honest with you guys, like my heart is like pounding, and all I'm picturing is her putting the skincare on her face. Like that's all I'm picturing right now.
That's impossible.
If I tell you some of the ingredients, I think you can figure it out. First, you need to combine tainted hydrophantasm tissue with transoceanic
Oh my god.
pearls at a ratio of around 3 to 7.
Tainted hydrophantasms and transoceanic pearls. I see. Can't believe I never thought of that.
So, Can we make a deal?
This is... This is wild. Absolutely freaking wild.
There's a delivery pipeline beneath this window. Drop the potion in, and I'll release you all.
Nope, not
Yeah, no, you're right, Sigewinne, you're right.
You're like those naughty kids who try to hide their illness.
Yes.
Open the sluice gate first, then I'll hand you the potion.
Even if you're not bluffing, your potion won't cure my face permanently. You really think you have any leverage here? I'm not closing the valve this time. Clock's
No,
ticking.
buddy, no, we have to...
Fine, then I'll just stand here with the potion in my hand. And when I faint from the poison, I'll drop it and it'll be destroyed.
It's so interesting because, like, Sigewinne's so good at reading people and so good at, like, understanding people, right? From all the work that she's done. It's so freaking cool that, like, she's able to do this thing that is actually, like, very smart, right? And, like, the melusines are always, like very, very intelligent and incredible, you know, incredible species that, like, have very much, like, adopted a lot of, like, very human traits. We've seen that before. Like, they get very involved in that stuff. They get very involved in, like, whether it's planting flowers or painting or things like this. Like, they love that type of stuff and they care about that type of stuff. When they put their heart into something, they put their full heart into it. But what's so crazy about this is, so it's not like it's like, oh, it's a surprise there's a smart melusine. It's just the fact that because she has worked so much with people, she's worked so much with sick people who try to hide their symptoms, who are always, that she's able to, like, have this, like, kind of, like, very, like, tricky personality to herself as well, that just, like, adds to something to her that, like, before it's like, oh, she's just a sweetheart, right? But then we say, oh, but she has a gun, a stun gun? She has a stun gun out of nowhere? And, like, you have these hints of it, but we're seeing this on full display now.
No.
Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. What a cool mission.
Disable that sluice gate! Jam it! Don't let it close again!
That's more like it. In that case, a promise is a promise.
Head nurse, there's too much poison gas in here. We have to leave, now!
But she's giving him the potion. Holy hell. Like, legitimately, what, like, an absolutely... like, an incredible... Like, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this from Sigewinne's quest at all. And not because I guess I thought, like... But then again, it's not just this from Sigewinne's quest. I didn't expect this from any quest that they would bring... First of all, bringing back up the primordial waters and the prophecy in such a very cool way. Like, but also in a very sinister and dark and terrifying way. I thought we were kind of, like, done with all that stuff in a way. But it's very clear that there's still, like, a lot of people and remnants of that. Because you're not going to clean up the whole of Fontaine. Like, we've seen in other quests as well. Fontaine isn't just going to get, like, completely clean just because we did this one thing that's amazing. You know, it's not going to clean the underbelly or anything like that. But it's just so surprising to me, like, you know, and I love getting surprised by these quests. I really do. But then again, I feel like, you know, like, the story quests in this game, they're always so varied and different and have their own different flair to them and whole different energy to them. Like, is there a time when we're not, like, stunned by, like, what the story quests can do in this game? They always have some unique thing about them that's so, like, unique to either the character or some unique moments. I love these story quests. I love them so much. I adore them. I adore the story quest. That's my new song.
That was too close. That button is a real nasty piece
It's
of
nice
work.
showing people sitting down as well, because we did get, like, a bunch of toxic gas poured in us.
Oh, don't be too quick to sit down. Moving around a little will help relieve the soreness.
Thank you for telling us.
Same goes for you, Traveler. Oh, but Paimon, you should be fine, right? Flying fast is pretty tiring too, actually. Anyway, that's not important right now. Paimon's still shocked to learn that there's a whole criminal operation going on behind that skincare lotion.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And, like a lot of Paimon had to get in, like, you know, I do get tired. Exactly.
Shame I ended up
Understand
giving
me.
the improved version of Potten after finally making it for you. I'll make you some more, I promise. No, please don't. Paimon doesn't want to use that stuff anymore. Still, it was a pretty good job that Paimon wanted to buy some in the first place, huh? It ended up saving everyone's lives. That's gotta count for something.
I mean, yeah, but Paimon, we'll give Paimon her credit as well, but Sigewinne was the one doing the saving.
Yeah, Paimon was just kidding.
No, it's okay. You're always saving people.
Head nurse, I've done a final head count of our team and the criminals. Everyone's here and doing fine. We're ready to escort the fugitives back to the fortress of Meripede. It's a shame that we didn't find Rawat. At this point, I'm afraid he's probably deceased.
Which is insane. It's insane.
What a horrible bunch. Especially that Patton guy. If he hadn't made good on that deal, we'd all be dead because of him. No, we wouldn't. I always keep a whole bunch of antidotes on me for emergencies. And one of them neutralizes that poison gas. We'd have been fine, even if you hadn't opened the
Oh my
gate.
god, Sigewinne has an answer for everything.
What?
Saint.
Then why did you give him the potion?
Angel Saint.
If this is true, I must concur. Sorry to be blunt, but I think you made a bad decision by handing him that bottle. If he changes his appearance and flees Fontaine, it's unlikely that we'll ever find him. No matter how cooperative his accomplices are when we question them.
No, you don't understand. I gave him the potion precisely so we could be sure where he'll go next.
Where's that?
What do you mean?
We gotta hurry. She won't last much longer.
Wait. Where does she mean? Oh, I can't believe I wasn't picking up on this fully. Oh my god, yes, of course. Is Potton actually... Oh my... Yeah, that's his mother. That's his mother. Does he want to change back? So that she can see his face once again? This is actually so, like, I'm stunned. I'm stunned how, yeah, there we are. And then of course Cease is there as well.
Don't move a muscle. I might be short, but I pack a mean
And
punch.
yeah, they will.
Captain, you're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying to find a way in. So I detained
Well done. Really well done. And there's the face as well, the scar. It actually like doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but I guess like the thing is, from the outside perspective, or from an inward perspective, this looks bad, right? From me, I'd be like, oh, that's just a scar, right? That's just a scar or a birthmark or something like that. But I can totally get from like someone who's like, who has that scar, they might feel a little bit different about that, right? So that's totally understandable, I guess.
Whoa. His face.
It is like it is a nasty scar, right? It is a big scar. But I'm saying that for me, like, I wouldn't judge someone, right? I wouldn't think it's too crazy.
Are you... Potton? So this is where you were heading, huh?
What?
Yeah.
This is how Potton looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot on his arrest warrant.
I see. Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would he change back to his original face and run
Is
right
it for
into
his
a
mother?
trap?
Enough of this nonsense. Let me in.
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in there who's very sick. No way are we letting a crook like you inside.
To heck with it. Listen
Yeah.
to me. I'm Rawat.
Yeah.
That's my mother.
Oh
in
my
there.
god. Yeah, and like... This is actually like pretty... But like, does that mean that was Rawat at the start? Or was that like... Maybe, like, I don't know when he became Potton.
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it against his will. How can he and this monster be the same person?
Paimon, we've met a lot of people who seem very nice on the surface.
Forced against his will.
Yeah, with that laugh as well.
That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. Back when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. And then when I actually became a criminal in my own right, you all suddenly thought I must be under duress. Amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Oh my god, he's saying he got more advantages just because, like, and people believed him more because, like, oh my god. What he's saying is that because of the scar on his face, like, he's saying, from his perspective, now this might not be the truth, like, from his perspective, he's saying, like, because I have a scar on my face, people don't believe people can't believe that I'm under duress now. But when I had the handsome Rawat face, I'm too innocent, I'm too nice, I'm too handsome. And there was conversations of that similar in this whole mission where people were like, oh, like, it's hard to believe he's like antisocial. It's hard to believe he's like, you know, it's
Save us the speech.
It's
Explain
interesting if
yourself.
that's how he feels.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is.
And I hope you guys make sense when I say, like, I understand it's a big scar. It is a big scar. But I'm not saying it's not like something that, like, you know, is horrible to happen to someone. But also at the same time, I'm just saying that if I saw someone like that, like, I'd be like, oh, it's like, you know, I think it's worse from the perspective of someone who has it versus the person who is looking at you, right? Now, then again, it's me I'm talking about, and maybe some people in the audience as well, because I think some people would judge someone like that, and they would look away, you know what I mean? So it's always depending on the person.
When I was just potting, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want? Get away from me.
Oh, so this is what he sees. This is what I'm talking about. Like there is people out there that will judge you for your appearance. And again, I sometimes, you know, we can be in a bubble. I can be in a bubble too. For me being like, oh, like I wouldn't see that as bad. You know what I mean? But there is people who would just be like, that's disgusting. When there's I know. No, okay. No. Right? That one animation made me feel really bad, but we have to understand what has happened here and how crazy the stuff that has happened here. It is horrible.
Collaborate? You don't look like much of a researcher to
And
me.
you, wait, so that's the girl that liked him before? And that's the dude that wants to do research. First of all, I want to say that like obviously the girl has a right to, like, you know, date whoever she wants regardless, you know, that's her choice. But like, is this the dude that but you don't want to do research with someone because of how they look?
My peers
What?
scorned me.
Mr. Parton, was it?
It's Henry.
I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment opportunities.
Yeah, because like the guy who like is like, I'm not gonna do research with you, man. Like, and that's can I say two things about this? I want to make it perfectly clear. The guy who said I don't want to do research with you because of your look, absolutely dumb. The girl who was rude about it, by the way, oh, why are you talking to me? Go away. That's horrible as well. If you don't find this man attractive, or if you don't think he's like, oh, women were repulsed by me, which means he's probably like every time he tries to talk to a girl he likes, they will look away, like turn their nose at him, right? Which, by the way, like I said, they have a right to date whoever they want, handsome or not, and pick and choose who they're comfortable around. But also at the same time, like, I think a very mean response to be like, you know, someone's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, disgusting face. Like, that's horrible. That's such a horrible way of, like living, even, and thinking about this. It's almost like there is, like, a very, like, obviously there's, like, a lot of superficial stuff going on here with a lot of people here. It's a very horrible situation.
Only villains would work with me.
And he's saying because of his face only, yeah, because he said, like, oh, now I'm the villain because I have this scarred face.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some Marechaussee Phantom officers. Easy mistake to make.
So he
Now
was
I'm
under
listed
duress
you as an
originally.
accomplice and drawn up an arrest warrant. So I suggest you put any thoughts of running away to rest. If you get caught by the guards for being in the synth business, you ain't ever seen the light of day
They're
again.
disgusting. So they dragged him into this line of work at his most down. At his worst point, they dragged him into this work.
There was no way out for me until I could stop being Potton.
And he changed his face. This is, by the way, no one ever should ever feel this way. To feel like they have to change themselves for other people. And if you're out there and you're feeling that way, the people that like want you to change or that would like you better once you changed, they ain't worth it. They ain't worth it at all. They're not the people you want to be around. They're the people that in 10 years' time won't be around. Don't give them the time of day. And I'm saying that to you guys. Do not give them the time of day. Do not give them anything of you. Because I'm just saying, if you treat people differently based on how they look, and if you like you respect people less because of how they look, you're not worth my time, and you're not worth that person's time. And like, and I'll re-say what I said. I'll re-say what I say. You're not entitled, obviously, to like date any girl. But I feel like, you know, the way he's describing is that this girl was like, oh, you're just like, ooh, you know, which, like, you know, come on. Not really looking for a relationship right now, or like, hey, can you just stop, you know, talking to me? I don't really feel, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's
Mr. Rawat, I have something I'd like to tell you.
Like, that's what I mean. It's completely okay for her to turn around and be like, I like this guy, but not the other guy. But she was just rude before, like really mean. Like really mean-spirited.
I became popular with women.
But that's the thing that makes me even more sick about this whole thing. The popularity that he gained for this stuff, right? I gained popularity like with women, right? It's like, how does that feel good? Like, I know it probably would feel good, like, to be super popular with like a bunch of people. But again, like I said, in years to come, it's gonna go. You're not always gonna be that popular person. You're not always gonna have those superficial things that people are gonna like for you, right? Find the people that like you for you.
This new potion you developed is fascinating.
This guy sucks.
Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me? I'd be happy to sign a licensing agreement.
Can you imagine being like, man, I don't want to work with you because you have a scar on your face. And look, he's smiling as well, like, oh my god, this is a very frustrating quest, right?
My peers looked up to me.
Doesn't excuse the stuff you've been doing at all, but as always, as we do with any single character that has been doing wrong, we learn about them, and we always understand where they started, where their starting point is.
Okay, I'm very interested in your research, sir. You must no doubt have offers from countless investors, so far be it for me to ask for a full collaboration, per se. I merely wanted to express my interest. No pressure at all, naturally.
And the villains even began to fear me.
That's insane. This is insane.
Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world we live in. But I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be made to work in my favor. Or so I thought. But alas, the world seemed bent on finding a reason to make me despise it. Mother.
That's his mother, yeah.
How are you doing?
And she doesn't recognize him.
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but...
Insane. The idea that, like, again, a superficial world, it kind of like relates to this too, where like all the money in the world, all that power that he had, and he still couldn't save this one woman, and in the end, the person that actually cared about him won't be able to see the face that she probably wanted to see before she passed away.
When everyone else rejected me, the
Exactly.
only person who cared about me was my
Exactly.
mother. Then, when I became a rising star in the Fontaine Research Institute, I was unrecognizable to her.
That's the point. That's the point I was trying to make. It's like the people that actually matter are the ones you want to keep around you. And it's hard to see the forest from the trees sometimes, but that's the truth.
To let her see me again. Even if it means donning my own wretched, ugly face.
Here's the thing. He's done, like, again, this is a horrible, horrible, horrid situation. There's no forgiveness coming in here. But I think letting him see her for the mother's sake, more than even his sake even, is a good thing. I really do, for her sake.
Well, is that enough explaining for you? Now do you understand? Let me inside already!
Have you ever considered if you'll even be able to look your mother in the eyes after what you've
And I agree. I want to make it clear. I agree with Morgan here. Like, he's done some horrible stuff. And again, it's not about forgiveness. We always try to understand where everyone's story starts. That's what we always say in Genshin. We always try to understand where the story starts. You have a better understanding of the story that way. It's for her. It's for the mother. 100%, it's for the mother to get one last look at her actual son's face after all the horrible stuff he's done. He might not be able to look her in the eyes, but at least she can see him finally before she dies.
You found a way to completely change your identity. You could easily have escaped from them. But no.
Exactly.
You chose to keep working
Absolutely,
with them.
exactly. He got drunk with the idea of, now he's popular, now he can do whatever he wants. And he did, again, it's horrid.
Why would I want to give up on such a lucrative business? The profits were dozens of times that of the synth business, and it was all above board.
Above board?
So you kept being a villain just for the money?
Villain? By what standard? Is doing evil deeds really what makes someone a villain in your eyes? Or does it all come down to the way they look? None of you saw a villain when I was wearing my other face, did you?
But in fairness, though, like, I suspected him, like, very early on. But I will also say as well, it's not just about, like, you know, like, we don't judge people like that. I understand some people do, but, like, we don't judge people like that. And if we found out that what he was doing from the start, what you were doing from the start, we would be judging him. We would be.
You have no right to judge me. You're all just fake people living in a hypocritical world. I regret nothing. My mother would understand.
You're a villain to the core, but especially that tongue.
Paimon, someone needs to tell him off. Because now he's in this headspace as well where it's like, yeah, like, if he came to us, like, well before any of this happened and told us his story, right? You'd be like, oh my god, that's horrible, right? That's horrible that people would treat you that way, that people would be mean to you about your appearance, right? That's horrible. And then it's like, I don't know. I think what changes in this perspective now is that he's trying to say that, like, you know, if we saw Rawat at the start and we treated him very nicely, of course he would. Of course he would. And you guys know me as well by this stage, and I know you guys as well in the comments as well, and you'll all agree with me as well, and please tell me if you do agree. If he came along at the start of this with a scar on his face and said, "Hello, my name's Potton. I'm looking for the local, you know, thing. I'm selling this, like, product or whatever, like." Do you think the first thing we're going to do is go like, oh, he has a scar on his face? You know, that's, again, we've seen it factually so. Some people did treat him that way. Especially like that, I can't believe anyone would, like, look at someone and be like, man, this guy deserves less respect, you know? But obviously now he deserves less respect, but for a very different reason. Nothing to do with his face.
Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face.
It's not the face. It's not the face.
Don't humor me. You don't seem surprised by my confession in the least. How long have you known the truth? I think that's what
Sigewinne is saying. It's not the face. Your face isn't the part that makes you a criminal. It's not the part that makes what you did wrong.
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives. But if you're asking when I started suspecting you, it was the first time you came to see me at the infirmary. I had to confirm my suspicions. That's why I chose to join this investigation.
From the start, Sigewinne's so smart.
Are you kidding me? A young, promising researcher and a wretched criminal? What on earth gave you the idea that they could be one and the same person?
Well, there were no visual clues. This potion's face-changing effects are very powerful. Even as a melusine, I couldn't see through the disguise. But I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind.
Yes.
Humans have certain fundamental qualities that do not change with their appearance.
Fundamental qualities, huh? So you think you're the one who's seen through me, do you? Most people probably don't know this, but I think I can guess what your deal is. Melusine constitutions are very close to that of water, so it stands to reason that the potion should work on them too. You used it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
I think this is it. Yeah, that must have been the potion that she used. Oh my god. It must have had that as well.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh my god.
I'll bet it was back in the days when melusines were discriminated against because of their appearance. It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race cast out by humanity, or become the head nurse of the fortress of Mary.
I didn't even make that connection.
Feared by all. Not a hard choice to make. It's a
and he's trying to say, well, now look, like, he's trying to compare the two things, their journeys. She's gone on and helped people. She's gone on and saved people's lives.
So you see.
No.
You and I were the same. And I'm the one who saw through you.
No, I think there's a similar starting point with the way people may have treated you because of your appearance. 100%. There's definitely a similar starting point, but the journey is way different.
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother, didn't you? Well, I can grant you your wish.
Huh?
Head nurse, I'm not sure that's a good idea in his current state.
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for our lives, I was doing it to test him. He was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange for the potion. Also, he could see his mother again. If nothing else, his concern for his mother is genuine.
110%. I 110% believe that the concern for his mother is more than genuine.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother one last time. The Traveler and I will accompany him. You have nothing to worry about.
All right. I understand.
And there it is. We have to go in with him as well. This is a bombshell of a story. Like how all this was dropped on us. And like I said, like, yeah, the start of the stories are very similar. The idea of like both being discriminated for how they look. Obviously it's different because like, you know, there's a difference between being discriminated against for being like a species of a different species, or like a different race than it is from being, you know, having like maybe like a disfigurement of some kind. Obviously, like, it's two different experiences that you're going to experience both like horrible things throughout your lives, but they're very different, I feel like, in some ways too. But there is discrimination there, and I think that's what like is they're trying to show is that yes, the starting point was quite similar in some ways. Obviously, like, the thing is that I always like, you know, bite my tongue when I'm saying that. It's just, and I hope people understand, just because like we saw what the Melusines went through. It was one of the most horrible situations we've ever seen. People died. People were, you know, beaten, and there was mobs created. It was a horrible, horrible time. So it's really hard for me to like put an emphasis on saying the exact same situation here. But like the idea is there, the idea of discrimination starting off everything. And the issue is the journey is different. The journey is very different. Sigewinne went on to like care about everyone and to help people and save lives, while he went on to do some very horrible things, and now he's trying to excuse it. Which again, I hope it doesn't come across any ways that I'm excusing it, because we never do that. And it's just fact. I said it in yesterday's episode too. We don't excuse bad people. It's never happened once in this playthrough. We look at people that have done bad, and we go, okay, what's the next step here? Is there anything to redeem? Is there anything we can do? And in this situation is one of those things where we look at like, yes, he's going to be locked away for as long as like there is time, because this is some horrible, horrible stuff that he chose to get involved in as well. He chose to get involved in this synth type business as well. He chose this in the end. Yes, definitely not all mentally there as well, we can say too. But you know what I mean? Like, we all, but it's not about, like, again, like I said, I don't forgive characters. And in this case, like, it's so horrible what he did. What I do always, or what we all try to do, even in the comments as well, we try to understand the starting point and how someone even got here, right? That's always a great way. Like, you know, someone says to me, I'm going to destroy the world tomorrow, right? I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're pretty horrible, but to understand your story is to say, like, well, where did you probably feel like your place in this world isn't very important. You probably feel like you're being told that it's not very important. You're probably feeling very jealous or very, like, unimportant, and you're trying to make it more important, all this stuff. Again, doesn't excuse destroying the world. You know what I'm trying to say? No excuses. We just always try to understand the story of a character. Let's hit in. Very tough story. Very tough story. Very crazy. All this stuff is it's a lot.
It's me, Potton, your son. You recognize me now, don't you?
This poor old lady. This poor woman.
Mom, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here, and it appears that due to her prolonged fever, she's lost her eyesight.
No. There's no way.
What?
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you. But there are always other ways to remind our loved ones who we are. Wouldn't you say?
This is the story. This is adding to the story. You don't need your appearance. It's not about your appearance. Reminder of who you are.
Please, Mom, open your eyes. It's me, your son,
Rough.
Potton.
This
If
track.
you really can't see my face, then here, take my hand. Tell me you feel your son's hand. I've done so much to get to this point. Please, you have to recognize me. No.
This is rough. This is rough.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all.
And that's what Sigewinne wanted. My like, I don't know, I'm feeling like very, like it's just shockingly, like raw and rough. And it's very like, it almost feels like a, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels very like, it's like falling, it's like getting a paper cut, right? And then like touching something that makes it worse or something, like, you know what I mean? Like it feels very like almost like adding insult to injury in a way.
It's you. Thank you. Of course.
But she recognized Sigewinne.
Mom, why will you answer her and not me?
That is...
Why?
Twisting the knife.
No more questions, Potton. She's gone.
Holy hell.
Mom.
This is just a... I don't even... Is this like the most like hit after hit story we've ever had, where it's just constant, just like pain for like and whether it's not a crazy thing, it's a horrible thing we're hearing, it's a crazy reveal now, like this is what it's like. It is like something twisting the knife.
I'm sorry to say this, Potton, but you and I are not the same.
Potton is eventually taken away with the members of the Marshall's Phantom. A day passes in a flash. Whoa, my god, we're just moving on from that moment as well. Now, my first thought there as well, now I think it's, maybe I'm doing a stretch here. First of all, I don't think I've because here's the thing, it's, I hope you understand why I'm kind of like stuttering so much at this moment. And why I'm like just kind of in a state of shock. Because a lot of these reveals were insane, and they were somewhat disgusting at times too, and then harrowing and then sad. And then that whole moment with the grandmother, like she didn't get to see her, she didn't even recognize her own son from the touch of him, from his voice. She died not even ever hearing her son's voice again. Crazy. But I was saying, like, I thought that for a second that was the girl that Sigewinne helped when she was younger. You know what I mean? But then, like, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of too much of a stretch, because that's why she remembered her hand. But I think maybe she just remembered her hand from that moment, I guess, that they had there together. So I'm still kind of stunned. And we're back here at this place.
Everyone, the sale of our new skincare product, Romaritime Essence, will now begin.
Another skincare promotion! And it's selling as fast as last time. Wonder what people would think if they knew what was in the last batch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so hard to like, because again, I'm sad for the situation. I'm sad for the whole, but obviously we have to like give people like, their proper due punishments and all this stuff, but that whole sequence there and that whole history there, like my heart is still like pounding. Like it still feels like kind of like getting through that was tough.
Oh, Sigewinne's here too!
I'm in a state of, I feel like I'm in like a shock.
Hey, Sigewinne!
For sure. Hey, Sigewinne.
Oh,
Sigewinne.
Traveler Paimon, hello! Oh, I hope you two got a good rest yesterday after all your hard work. Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Anyway,
Great way
are
of
you
putting
here
it.
to take notes for your next article? Actually, I'm mostly here to help Officer Morgan wrap up yesterday's case. Ah, that reminds Paimon. That stuff sold like crazy, didn't it? Is it gonna cause huge problems? Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Unless modified, Butterfly Dew is an excellent skincare product that's completely safe to use.
So they're just kind of being like, okay, look, since it's not going to harm anyone, it's still, I would want to know if I'm putting that stuff on my face, to be honest.
Besides, officers have already retrieved all Butterfly Dew purchased on the market.
Okay, fair enough.
Now it's just a matter of disposal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I was wondering, I was like, okay, yes, it's not going to harm anyone, but still, I wouldn't want it on my face.
After consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects. So it'll evaporate naturally without polluting water
You're
or
so
soil.
sweet. You are so sweet.
Wow, it's Sigewinne to the rescue again!
Yep, she's amazing.
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse.
You were great as well.
All the Butterfly Dew we
You were really
recovered
fun to be
has been
around.
disposed of, according to your instructions.
Great! Good job, everyone!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of Rawat's interrogation records. Well, technically, Potten's records. Anyway, I have them with me. Here.
Are we going to find out something else about this?
After he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down.
We could... That's,
He put up no resistance during the interrogation and answered all our questions. We learned a lot.
I definitely felt that. Right? You saw like a completely different character all of a sudden.
Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, he came up with the idea to dilute it and use the resulting substance as a skincare product.
So it was all by chance. Sorry, I'm still like in a very weird space right now, guys. I really am.
Their supplier was Vache.
There we...
But you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. His operation helped Vache's gang dispose of an enormous amount of evidence.
Hearing that name again just sent chills down my spine. Honestly.
It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash was another man's treasure, and there were no loose ends. It's no wonder we never noticed what Potten's gang was up to.
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the harm he caused?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why it's so serious that he dealt with this synth stuff. That's why it's so serious. And that's why I said it's not the same thing. It's a completely different thing, completely different journey. And again, as we said, that's why I even said, I'm glad Sigewinne said we are not exactly the same, because like, as I was saying there, like it's a completely different journey. It's a completely different journey the two of them have been on. I'm so glad she said that. That synth stuff is horrific. Still, to this day, the stuff Vache does is being affected today. Like, still being felt today.
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices will come to an end. It's only a matter of time.
And we were saying there was going to be some stuff left around.
Since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods, like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. Naturally, those attempts all ended in failure. After receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on the gang and eventually round them up.
So we have... Okay.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah, no, you're doing a good job.
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner, even though he made a point of distancing himself from the gang while disguised as Rawat. He tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices, giving him enough time to transform back into Potten and see his mother one last time.
Well, I'm so glad that, again, and it's the NPC they done with Morgan. She's so good at her job. She did such a good job here. It's fantastic.
But there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though Potten had been missing for a long time, we were very much still on the lookout for him.
Yeah.
So, the moment he appeared in public, after changing back to his original appearance, we caught him.
You just didn't expect... He didn't expect you guys to be so good at your job.
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to see him again. But in the end, looking at the interrogation records, it seems like he spent the first sum of money he earned as Rawat on his mother's treatment.
Yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed, but a desire to become somebody who had the power to save her.
Right. And it definitely is that energy, especially since like he was trying to get, you know, move back into like getting into for him to see her or whatever like that. Obviously, like again, like we said, it doesn't, you know, forgive the actions. But it is like one of those things where it's like the actions were not motivated just by greed or money. They're more motivated by the idea of like, if I do have this money and I do have this power, then I can become somebody that can save my mother.
Even so, he went too far.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
In the end, he got what he deserved.
Morgan said, hey, what if I summarize everything you're feeling? It's like, yeah, it's like, even so, this is like, it's like he wanted to save her. It's too far. It's too far.
I understand. Thank you for bringing me these records. Why did you want them anyway? Cotton was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher always stressed that a person's life experiences are just as important to their file as their medical history.
That's a very interesting way of putting it. Yeah.
Why are you still treating him like your patient? Isn't he kind of beyond redemption now? Well, that may be true, but a patient is a patient, regardless of the choices that bring them to my care.
And here's the thing, like, you know, if Sigewinne said to me right now, I want to just forget about him forever, you'd be like, okay, understandable. But like Sigewinne, like I also respect this perspective from Sigewinne because as a medical care professional, this is what you want out of your medical care professionals. That oath to help people, regardless of, and again, like regardless of how they came into your care, regardless of who they are, you want a medical care professional to like. Now, obviously, like, you know, we can get into like the morality of all that situation as well, and I feel like there is like a lot of questions you can have. Should they be able to save someone like that? Should you say something like that? But what the point is, it's not about whether or not should they be sent to her, because I think it's a different conversation who should be sent to her, right? We can talk about that until the cows come home. It's different when they are sent to her and they come into her care. At that point, what she's saying is, I will help them. She works in the Fortress of Meropide, guys. Do you know how many bad people she probably helps every single day? And she sees them as just another patient.
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know about this potion a secret.
So much.
It would be for the best.
It's a lot.
If most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officers and I will be able to sleep easier if that's the case.
Of course. Not to worry.
Thank you for understanding. I'll take my leave then.
So, Sigewinne, did you really use that potion yourself?
I want to talk about this part as well, obviously. Obviously, I'm not going to be like here, like, you know, judging her or anything at this stage, right? Because like obviously like it was a, you know, a situation where she wanted to save someone's life in this sense as well.
Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon? I told you all about it. It was quite a while ago now. You mean that story about the witch and the potion? So it was really, actually, genuinely a true story?
I mean, I believed it. I definitely believed it. Sorry, I'm sorry that I feel like I'm like, yeah, I can keep saying it to the I'm gonna stop saying it because like, of course, like this is just, this quest has really like been a lot.
Yes, it really actually genuinely was.
But the process of making that potion, exactly, yeah.
I know. There are some secrets I can't tell anyone about. But considering everything we've been through together, I know I can trust you with them. Before I tell you though, could you follow me somewhere? I want to pay my respects to an old friend.
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
Sure. Yeah, it's a lot, right? Isn't it? It is a lot, and I'm sorry for like, you know, kind of sitting here, kind of thinking about all this stuff because it is like a whole hell of a lot, and like it was a very good quest. We're obviously not done yet. But I think that, like, you know, I'm glad that they, like, very much are, from my perspective at least, like, sharing a lot of opinions I have on this. Morgan, you know, said something, you know, basically said something that, like, I agreed with quite a bit. Where are we going here? Down here? Oh, wow. I said something that I quite agree with in a lot of ways, which is, like, it's like, yes, okay, it wasn't about greed, but he went too far. And I love that they're acknowledging that as well. The scene with his mother, it was horrible just because like his mother didn't get to see him in the end. Now, am I sitting here going he deserved to like have like the happiness of like or any bit of happiness after? No, of course not. He went way too far. Like I don't like him. I think what he did was absolutely horrible. But like from the mother's perspective, her dying and never getting to see her son again is horrific. It's horrific. And also, I think it as well, like, you know, as we said, the facade dropped there when he saw his mother, right? It all just like changed him like almost immediately. And I think that's so true for like a few reasons. I think one of the big reasons was he stopped trying to like do this kind of like this coping mechanism where, you know, he kind of was lashing out. He was lashing out everyone around. He's lashing out at Sigewinne, trying to like say like, you're not like, you know, you're just like me. You're just like me. I'm so glad in a way Sigewinne said like, you know, hey, we're not the same. Because I don't feel it is. I feel like it, as I was saying before, I don't feel it's exactly similar. I think that it's the same like genesis of like the basic outline, which is like discrimination, right? Is that Nervalet in Rio? What the hell? Well, yeah, it's the same outline of like there's someone being told that they're not good enough, or someone being discriminated against, or someone being very mean to them because of how someone looks. But it's a very different situation. There's Rio and Nervalet.
Oh, Nervalet and Risley, they're here too.
Wait, is he gonna like? I want to see a Sigewinne Nervalet interaction.
Good to see you, traveler. Paimon.
It's good to see you.
I trust all has been going well for you.
I love how real the world feels in Genshin. We still see all the characters well after their quests.
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on important business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rise him up already.
Hmm? Is that genuinely something people would consider big news?
Oh, come on, you banter a bit.
Why
you said you were
wouldn't
getting
they?
better at banter.
Important business is a big deal.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support,
Oh
being
my
there for them at the
God.
right time and place is of the utmost importance.
Is this for Sigewinne?
After reading the Maréchaussée Phantom's reports, I had a feeling a trip here might be in order.
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Nervalet shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose, actually.
Oh my
To accompany
God.
Sigewinne as she pays her respects to her late teacher.
That is so freaking sweet. These two men that care about her so
The friend
much.
she mentioned was her teacher then? The witch?
It seems so.
Sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Sigewinne calls
Yeah,
me
there's
that
nothing
all
wrong.
the time,
Being a witch
so-
is cool. Being a witch is cool as heck.
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive,
Yeah.
Paimon. Don't worry.
Being a witch is so cool.
Indeed. In fact, I believe Sigewinne would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor on many occasions, and it sounds like she was a truly generous individual. In those days, many people harbored prejudices against melusines. She was the only teacher willing to take Sigewinne on
Oh
as a
my
student.
lord. It all comes back to that. It all comes back to that. Like, again, I don't love it, by the way, because it's horrible, but I love the way Genshin, like, what it became with the prophecy in this episode, where with the synth coming back again, or talking about, like, how the melusines were treated as well. It really feels like, you know, this world is so full, and it's so realistic in a lot of ways. In its own world, obviously it's not realistic in terms of our world, but in its own world, everything, like, makes sense. Like, of course, like, you know, it comes back to this. Of course that those scars are still there after all of that pain that the melusines went through.
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be
Oh, they
here for
love her.
Sigewinne.
They love her to
Guess
death.
you guys really look out for your younger colleagues, huh?
They adore her.
A younger colleague. Well, that might be true for the Udex, but I'm not sure I can say the same.
Sigewinne's older than you?
Sigewinne served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago. And after she did her time, she decided to stick around.
Did they explain that
She's been an
before?
integral
Or is
part
that
of
like
our
a new
administration
information?
since. Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included. Pretty sure that makes me the younger colleague.
She served a sentence?
Yeah, like I didn't know this at all.
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a
Oh, it was because of that. Yeah.
human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them to lead more straightforward, happier lives.
I'm not quite sure what that means. Is that saying that Egeria, the former Hydra Archon, was basically saying that, like, if people couldn't change, it would stop them from learning about what they truly were, maybe?
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Yeah, so then they would find out that they're not actually human?
Sigewinne had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless in clear violation of the law.
Which, from Ruvlet's perspective, you still get thrown in prison.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to hear what happened.
Certainly. Sigewinne does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact,
they know so much
first
about
learned of
her
it myself because she confessed the truth to me of her own volition.
Oh, we're getting a story.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either.
I'm like instantly like in tears. The idea of like anyone saying that to a melusine, that must have meant so much. The idea of like talking about like how prejudice is a disease that can't be cured.
Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch. You want to save everyone in Fontaine, but you can't even save the patient before you.
Master, what are you?
And she has like she understands. Like that must have meant so freaking much to have someone that understands.
I discovered a strange disease, one I suspect that every Fontainian suffers from. But without witnesses or proof, no one will believe me. I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure, but I hit a wall. And as you can see, it took a wretched
Is that the
toll
scars on her face as well? Does she have the same scars that Potter had?
Then I'll find a cure for you, and then you can go cure her.
Oh, Sigewinne.
There's no need. I am beyond saving now. There's nothing you can do.
But, Master?
As I said before, a doctor's duty is to treat whatever
that's where she got it
ailments
from.
they can.
I know, but they don't trust me at all.
That's so horrible. It's so horrible.
That girl. She's your first ever patient, isn't she? Tell me, what cost are you willing to bear to see her cured?
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it?
So this is how it happened.
As long as I don't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the difference. That's why it is a different journey.
Spoken like a true student of mine.
Holy hell.
Then I shall make one more final gamble. And see my experiment through to its end. Leave me for now, and come back in 2 hours. If I am able to work this miracle, then I will have found a way to save all Fontainians, and I shall be able to help you treat that girl.
So she was planning on trying to save all Fontainians as well, not just like...
If not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I cannot treat. In that case, do not come looking for me.
That's related to the racism thing and the prejudice.
I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery happened upon through my study of this strange disease. It has little use, but it will at least help you cure this one patient you can reach.
This is so crazy. It really is, like, because...
When Sigewinne returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process.
But she did this for, to save that girl.
And
That's what she
after I
did.
had confirmed the veracity of the events, I gave my verdict.
Imagine, like, Nouvelle had to, like, to a melusine as well, especially.
So that's what happened.
Her teacher sacrificed herself and left a potion behind.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontanians was uncovered.
Yeah, no, I had no worry about that whatsoever, Nouvelle. I knew she wouldn't just do this just if she didn't know.
When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. As I use the law to uphold justice, there are times when I cannot help but acknowledge its ruthlessness.
Yeah. We've come into this before as well, haven't we?
After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully, the legal code does not require Sigewinne to shoulder any additional punishment.
Wonder how she feels about
That's
all
the
this.
thing. It's how she feels as well.
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no?
You can tell how much it hurt Nouvelle as well to put any melusine like in the fortress, especially with what they were going through at the time. With everything that happened there.
On behalf of the Maréchaussée Phantom, I would like to once again thank the Fortress of Meripede for your assistance in the response to yesterday's prison break.
Our head nurse and the traveler in Paimon did most of the heavy lifting, I would say.
No, thank you though.
Sigewinne seems to be in good spirits. I trust work hasn't been too hard on her lately?
Well, she might be the only permanent medical staff in the fortress, but there's plenty of people with medical knowledge willing to help her out.
I am most relieved to hear it.
He cares about her so much.
The way you're asking after her well-being makes you sound like a concerned parent.
He's all of their dads. He's all of their dads.
I won't lie. I've always seen myself that way.
Showing your age a bit there, don't you think?
Indeed. Actually, I often forget just how much older I am than you.
Well, while we're on the topic, what did you do before getting this job anyway? Spend all day swimming in the sea from east to west and then north to south?
Yes, and from the surface to the ocean floor on occasion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I could make that sound. But I really feel like Rayo is trying to do some banter with him, and he's just like, yeah, that's true.
Wow. Impressive.
Apologies, that was merely an attempt at humor.
Oh, he was!
You can disregard what I
Oh
said.
my god, I was trying to banter back.
That's impossible, I'm afraid. My imagination's already running wild.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He was trying to do... No, that's so awesome. He tried to banter back. I respect it so much.
You're here.
How are you, Sigewinne?
The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb. And even that's deep underwater now. Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your teacher, wasn't she? Sounds like Monsieur Neuvillette filled you in.
I love that she does trust him enough to tell that story.
After learning the truth, it must have been hard to process, huh? Well, to be honest, after I realized what really happened that night, my first thought was that it kind of made sense. It seemed exactly like the sort of thing she would do. But she was planning to sacrifice herself and never told you. That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine, then that's what she'd do.
Oh my god. Yeah, it all fits in. I'll just say a truly great doctor for Sigewinne as well. I'm not... Because again, that's what she would see as a great doctor as well. But that's so incredible. That's what all came back to.
All
That
right,
one scene at the start.
Why did you turn yourself in? I broke the law. Simple as that. My teacher made her choice, and I made mine.
Yeah.
true. It's just the way Patton framed it when he was asking you all those questions, it made Paimon really mad. You're not like him at all, and everything Neverlet said confirms
It's a completely different journey to me. It's a completely different journey.
And yet, you were still convicted and thrown in prison. It just feels so unfair.
Yeah, because you didn't know anything about it. Like, she did change her appearance. I think in her perspective, she's probably thinking, if I just do this, it's better to get out of the way as well.
Unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time, I'm not sure I would have been able to stay strong when he was questioning me.
So she feels like she's stronger for it?
What makes you say that? I knew you'd be curious. Let me tell you a story.
Oh my god, we started one of these and...
came down. This melusine
Oh, but look at her there.
is guilty. The Eudex defended the authority of Fontaine
Yeah.
Law, but he did not confiscate the melusine's medical kit.
What?
And so, the Fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor.
Look at her.
She still wore her hood and
Yeah, she
raincoat.
looks so sweet going through the freaking
even
fortress.
Though it never rained in the fortress.
She still wore a hood.
Thanks to her human appearance, no one refused
And
her
look at her doing her
treatment.
job.
She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter.
And they're all coming around for help as well.
Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her.
Oh.
And though her sentence ended, she did not leave
Yeah,
them
she
either.
stayed. This is so pretty.
Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside
Oh,
world. The location seemed familiar, and when
Wait.
she arrived, an old lady was waiting for
That's-
her. She saw right through the melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so
Oh,
many
look at
people,
Sigewinne with the hood up.
despite being a melusine?
Because I look like a human?
No. No, it's not about appearances.
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day.
Oh.
I think everyone knows you are not
Yeah.
human. I finally
That's her
found you
That's her
after
friend.
all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
Oh my god.
But how? I was no longer a melusine by then.
This is so. It's not about.
Does it
It's not
really
about
matter
appearances.
if you're human or melusine?
Oh my god. And the hood got
I
pulled
remember
down.
the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable.
Just like she held the
And you know what?
the old lady's hand.
It hasn't changed one
Look how pretty this is.
You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, everyone wants to make friends with melusines.
Oh.
And I think that it's all because of you.
Stop.
I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but
Oh,
thank
look.
you, Dr. Melusine.
Doctor. Why would they do that?
That's an ending Paimon can get behind.
Whew. That was so pretty. First of all, that was so pretty. But like I thought they were gonna bring it back in some way. Everything that the Melusines have gone through, and then seeing Sigewinne be a huge part of turning that whole public perception around that shouldn't have been there in the first place is just so amazing. It's so
After hearing everything
Sigewinne is
Cotton
amazing.
said, I wanted to tell him that it didn't matter who he looked like on the
Yeah.
outside. But
Exactly.
it was too late. The warmth in his palm had already disappeared. I tried to treat him, but the roots of his problem had nothing to do with his face.
It does feel like wasted potential.
I understand. Thanks, you two. I appreciate you being here for me while I talk this through.
because he no longer, because of all the stuff he had done and all the stuff he'd been doing, he no longer had the same warmth that Sigewinne had. And you could feel the warmth of Sigewinne's hand because that's a hand that wants to extend out to help people. And that's what's so special about this about her.
Oh, it's nothing. Our pleasure. Oh, there's one more reason I invited you here.
Christ.
It's about time I finally give you what I promised.
What did you promise?
In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the Marechaussee Phantom gave me special permission to make a few bottles of that potion. And I made one extra just for you two. We don't need it though. Shouldn't we destroy it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was a bit shocked because I was like, why are you giving it to us?
Well, even if you chose to destroy it, I still thought I should give it to you first. You two did so much for me. How could I break my
Sigewinne,
promise?
like, yeah, we did a lot, quote unquote, a lot for you. We were following you around as you were solving problems. Let's be honest here. This is why people adore you. You do so much and don't ask for anything in return. You were solving problems today. You did. We just followed you around the place and helped out a little bit.
Well, fair enough, but anyway, Paimon's definitely not interested in this
Yeah,
stuff
it's horrible
anymore.
stuff.
Still, if this is the very last bottle in all of Teyvat, getting rid of it would feel like kind of a waste. Maybe we can give it a special meaning somehow. Ooh, Paimon's got it! Melusine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. In that case, what do you say, Sigewinne? Ever thought about transforming back to the way you used to look?
What?
After all, from a Melusine point of view, Paimon bets Melusines look the cutest of all.
But Sigewinne is like, she said she was happy with the way she looked earlier, and Sigewinne is the cutest of all. You and Sigewinne, Paimon, to be honest.
Paimon, after everything, do you really think it matters?
That's the
whether
point.
I'm
Yeah, that's the
Melusine or human?
point. The whole point is that this is one of the best and deepest, like, because they can be so cliche, but this is one of the deepest and best stories about it's what's on the inside that counts. Usually that can be so cliche and eye-rolling because it's told so many times, and it's always important to say to people, right? But there's so many stories that do so many cliche things about it that, like, it's always like, it's like, yeah, we know this is what it means, but in this case, they did it in such, like, a different way that, like, it feels like it's almost like I need to share this with everybody. Like, this is such an important story because of the way they told it. It's dark at times as well, but, like, this is the point of the story. And you guys get what I'm saying, right? That idea, like, is so true. It's what the inside that counts. But it can be, it's like said so many times and it almost lost its meaning so many times, how many times people have said it. But, like, the way that this story says it really feels like it is, like one of the best tellings of that moral I've ever seen.
Well, what was Paimon thinking? You made up your mind a long time ago. Yeah, let's just destroy this thing.
And Paimon always says before she thinks sometimes, and she's just trying to help.
Leave it to me.
What a freaking story quest. Is she releasing it? Whoa, what's it? What an ending.
I'd like to stay here with my teacher for a little longer.
With her teacher. That was an insane story quest. The best thing I can say from the story quest is that it shocked me to my core. As you guys saw, like, I don't know how it's, like, I hope it's not, like, a bunch of dead air or something like that, because there's moments where I was actually just, like, thinking about it, and I was like, I had to, like, snap back into focus at sometimes, too. I was like, such a shocking and horrible sequences that happen, and so many horrible things done in this as well. But such an uplifting story as well. And like I said, like it'd be so easy to make the story very, very like color by numbers in a way where it's like this is the way we're doing it, and it's going to be like the basic telling of like, which is a true moral, that it's what's on the inside that counts, and what's what makes you the most beautiful and most unique, right? You know, but the way they told the story through a character like Potter, who was very much, you know, treated poorly because of his face. Like, as we said, like, you know, we looked at, like, the guy who didn't want to do business with him because of his face. People taught him instantly knew he taught him as a criminal because of his face. Even when he felt, again, we don't know it's his narration, so we don't know what's true and what's not. But we do know from his perspective that, like, people even feared him more because he was, like, more handsome and seemed more confident. Obviously, like, that doesn't excuse all of his actions, as we said. And I love the way they said that. Morgan said that. Like, he went too far. Like, he went way too far. And yes, we understand he was trying to save his mother, but he went too far. And in the end, because of all the stuff that he did, he no longer had that same warmth. And his mother could not even tell who he was by the touch of his hand or the sound of his voice. Because that wasn't him anymore. He had gone. And I would have loved to have met him before all this had happened so we could do something. But right now, he is getting what he deserves. And that's just a fact. He is getting what he deserves now, which is being thrown away in the fortress. And it's the truth, guys. I'm sorry. But I would have loved to have met him before all this had happened. I would love if Paimon and Wonder and Sigewinne met him before all this, because he could have been, like I said, if he showed up to me with that scar on his face, there's not an ounce of me that would tell him anything is wrong with him or say anything is wrong with you. We would have all treated him just like any other person, as any other person deserves to be treated with respect. I also adore how they brought back up all the stuff with the synth stuff again, and bringing back the melusine conversation as well through Sigewinne, and showing that like this thing is still on her mind still, and I love the way her friend said it to her. It's been 50 years now, and by the way, the effects are still there. There's still people around that remember that, right? And I want to make it clear that 50 years isn't that long of a time. It's not. But I think what she was trying to say was like, everyone loves you now, and it's a big reason why people love melusines now is because of you. And that's a big deal to hear from anyone. And the hood blowing down is such amazing symbolism. No need to hide herself anymore, because she is who she is. It doesn't matter what she looks like. She is who she is. Human and like the Fortress of Mirrorpeat is a perfect place for this story as well, because it is full of people that are pushed away from society and are no longer a part of society. It's very much like, that's, to me, that is the story of this place, which is like it's a bunch of people who like have committed horrible crimes, in some cases not so horrible crimes, but they are outcasts of society. That's what it is. They are outcasts now because they are sent away, right? That's how it works. They're not going to discriminate. Like, well, some of them might, you know what I mean? Some of them definitely would, but I'm saying that like the vast majority of them are just like, I'm stuck here in this prison. Do you think I care if you're a melusine or a human? I'm here for treatment. I think it's actually one of the most beautiful ways that, like, you know, you can see like how hard she was working and how amazing she truly was and how amazing of a character she truly is. I adore Sigewinne a lot. And how like they like, I think it's just a perfectly written story quest as well, just from like how they related even like Sigewinne's story to like a lot of the lessons in this as well, which is not only just like what's on the inside that counts. Your appearance doesn't really matter in the end. It's who you are as an entity, as a soul. That's what matters. But also like her morals as a doctor also came into play with this as well, which is also really good. The idea that she like believes that like if you're tricking someone, like, you know, at least like if it's saving someone and not hurting anybody, that's a good thing. But also she didn't know about the medicine that was being used on her as well. It's an incredible story quest. Some big emotional moments, some very shocking, dark moments as well. Some beautiful, the artwork of this was absolutely incredible for both stories that we saw as well. I thought that it had such an incredible like beginning, middle, and end. It was just such a perfectly written story. Oh, he's sleeping. I was going to fight him just to practice with his team more, but I felt really bad when I saw him like rubbing against his own arm. Very bad. That's going to do this video, guys. I know these story quests get longer and longer. That's why I always say, guys, about like because I talked about it before, you know, because some people ask where the reading of the books is, where this part is, and the answer is just very truthful, is that story quests have gone from an hour and 20 minutes to 4 hours for me. Hangout quests have gone from 2 hours to, in some cases, 4 hours and a half. And they continue to be like that. And that's like a continued thing now, is that quests have gotten longer. And I'm not complaining about that, because we have like very like, you know, like they need to be told in this way. Like the pacing of this story like makes perfect sense. But I'm more just saying like that's what it is. It's just the truth. And obviously it's harder to keep everything in then, and to do everything then. It's much harder. But I hope you understand that anyway, guys.
Ignorant. No, my son.
I'm very appreciative of everyone coming along for these journeys. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for making this always just amazing. Like, I'm making one, like, because after I make a video and like, you know, we edit it and we do all that stuff, and like it's not just like this thing where I'm like, oh man, like I'm done with it, right? I wait to see what people's reactions to my reactions are, and then the conversations we can have. Because I know for a fact that like, and I'm just gonna be, you know, completely honest with you. Like, I can't focus on it too much, because I feel like that would, like, you know, kill you. You know what I mean? But like, I'm always like, you know, and what I mean by that is basically I'm like saying like I'm always like up for like, you know, whatever you guys want to talk about in the comments. If you disagree with my opinion, that's great as well. As long as you're nice about it is what I'm saying. If you're nice about disagreeing with my opinion, we can disagree all day, and that's the way I look at it. So like, if you believe that I was too harsh on some characters, tell me. If you believe that I wasn't harsh enough at some times, if you believe that I interpret the story differently, please let me know as well. How do we open these cages? Is there a way to open these cages without killing them? No? They're just gonna die in this cage? Yeah. Guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for supporting the series as always. This is a longer one for sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I did enjoy it quite a bit. It was very shocking moments and some very shocking parts of this game as well. But I appreciate it quite a bit. Thank you so much to Never Can the Pay Baby Gangster on Patreon. Thank you to Typhara2, JB Bull, Jonathan Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicitas Felix, Yuled, Radish, and Nusta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, Jared B&M, Ruben Major, Eopsy, and Alpaca Juice, and True Peanut Butter. And I'll see you all so soon. Let's do the thing, but with Fremine. We haven't done the thing with Fremine. I'm sorry that the violence is on in the background. We have to figure out what we're going to do. I might have to get rid of these guys off camera, guys. I don't want you guys to see that. Let's go. Just to put them out of their misery, you know, because they're going to die in there. Perfect.